Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
So yeah, egg sled. Why did you think something different was gonna happen?
Honestly, I don't know what I expected.
You fucking tried to call my bluff.
Yes, because normally you're too fucking lazy to do any of this shit for a prolonged period.
Nah.
Yes, for our 8-year history.
Once I'm fueled by spite.
Oh yeah? Should be fueled by spite more fucking often then. We'll get you to do shit like this. We'll get you to keep to a fucking rhythm.
Post.
What about me and my posts?
We gotta get you to fucking post.
What do you want?
Something to fucking post.
I got nothing. I can't give you something I don't have.
You always talk about how your fucking TikTok's drafts are full.
Yeah, but I look at them and then I realize they're all not good.
Post them anyway, who gives a shit? I'm posting fucking pictures of egg salad on meme templates.
You're doing that. No one told you to do that. You're doing that on your own, alright?
But the point is, quality is irrelevant.
No, quality is irrelevant for you, not for me. I have a fucking standard I like to uphold.
Hey, I'm just saying, quality aside, people seem to be enjoying the egg salad goof.
Because it annoys me, and everyone likes annoying me, apparently.
To be fair, they were getting likes before the episode went up.
Because you're weird and irreverent and like, oh, he's posting egg salad, this must be funny for some reason.
I am not at any type of fucking level where people would say, oh, I don't get it, but it must be funny if he posted it.
Then explain why people are liking it. Explain to me your fucking thought process.
It's stupid.
It is stupid. You're stupid and I hate you.
I'm glad we do a podcast together.
It's not fucking salad. End of story.
You know what? I don't give a shit. I like it.
Oh, you actually like eating it?
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I had eggs and mayonnaise together.
It's a good combination. You know why? Because mayonnaise is just eggs. It's just eggs.
It's not.
It is.
No, I know egg goes into mayonnaise, but there's more
All
mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise is eggs and oil.
It's not just those two things, is it?
Yeah, you can absolutely make mayonnaise with just eggs and oil.
Explain to me how. I feel like I'm missing a step.
Blend it together. Literally, that is all you have to do.
Yolk and everything?
Yeah.
How is it like pure white then, if you got the yolk in there?
Because when you blend the shit up and it froths up, essentially.
All the colours go away.
I'm pretty sure the yolk's still going. Let me double check that, but I
don't think they can, because they're like a strong fucking yellow. Like, I'd be very surprised.
How to make mayonnaise in a blender is one of the first autocompletes.
Well, no, point being is I haven't had it in a while because I always have ketchup with my eggs.
I mean, sure. I sort of...
It's a classic flavor combo.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't like scrambled eggs that much.
Yeah, we've gone over this. You like to call them mashed because that too annoys me.
This is sort of a...
That's not how you fucking make them. You're just an asshole to me.
Use a room temperature egg. Okay, so there's a little bit more to it. You have to include vinegar.
Yeah, see, okay, egg. Told you. It's not just those two things. Do you put the yellow in?
Okay, but listen. Let me find the fucking measurements. I hate this shit. Fucking like, oh, do this and this. It's like, how much? Tell me the amounts first. Because then you know what they do? They tell you the steps, and then they'll tell you the amounts after a fucking loaded fucking article, and then they'll go through the process all over again. Just fucking tell me the amounts in the process, in that order.
I don't want to read your blog about how this mayonnaise recipe changed your life and how it's good for your kids, Karen. I don't give a shit. Tell me how to make it.
Okay, so here is the entire ingredients list.
Alright, here we go.
1 large egg yolk, it even specifies, at room temperature.
Just the fucking yolk? What the fuck?
1 tablespoon of lemon juice, so a small amount. A full cup of a neutral flavored oil. And then a 1/4 or 1/2 teaspoon of salt to taste.
That sounds disgusting.
That's what mayonnaise is.
When it's just like the ingredients isolated, it sounds fucking like horrifying.
That's makes mayonnaise.
I know, I'm aware that that's what mayonnaise is, but it sounds bad, and then mayonnaise itself tastes alright. There's a lot of people that don't like it, though. I know mayonnaise can be quite polarizing.
When you use it in excess, it's too much. That was the most no shit sentence I've ever said in my life. When you use it in excess, it's too much. That's the fucking definition of excess, dumbass.
I mean, you're just, like, telling this to yourself here. I was going to point out that we're talking about fucking mayonnaise in the video game episode, whilst we're trying to recap last week's Fear episode. Where the fuck does mayonnaise slot into any of this shit?
This is why I'm fucking looking for therapy.
Yeah, I think we both need it at this point.
Oh, God.
This is a kind of therapy.
Is it? Well, I guess it's like a release.
Oh, that bit in like those... Falcon and Winter Soldier, when you have the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. When you have those two just like talking it out in the chairs. Like, that's what bitter chatter is, except we have fun and we laugh.
I was gonna say if it's like comparable to when you pay money to go into the big room full of breakable stuff and you just smash it.
You know, I'd really love to do that.
I would too. There's probably one around here somewhere.
In America? Yeah, for sure. Probably not here.
I don't know. There's got to be something in London at least. You can make
I don't live in London.
You can make the commute for something like that.
No.
Make a day out of it with Ellie.
No.
Okay, or don't. All right, fuck me then.
We're in a pandemic, genius. How the fuck am I going to justify that?
Go in there by yourself.
That's not what I'm getting at.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Bitter Chatter.
He's exasperated. I'm bitter. That's bitter exacerbation chatter. That's it.
Yeah. Yep. He got it in one, folks. We're on a roll. Batting 1,000.
What do you want from me? You good intro? No.
I didn't say a damn thing.
We're not getting anything out of this, clearly. Nothing good comes from bitter chatter.
That's our motto. That's our motto here at the Big BC. Welcome to Bitter Chatter. Nothing good will come of this.
Don't listen to us.
Yeah, for your own sanity. Leave now.
If you've somehow made it this far and you're still listening, why?
Turn back.
Go away. It's not too late. If you're still here, then you're either a dedicated listener after 10 episodes, or you're a friend of him or me or both of us.
Yeah.
You feel obliged.
Yeah. Last episode was our big number 10, and neither of us fucking realized it until we were done.
10 is like, it's like nothing, really, when you think about it. Yeah,
it's a milestone of some sort.
It's like people celebrating, like, a year anniversary in a relationship. It's like, okay.
I feel like there were better comparisons to make. A year is a big deal.
Okay, a month.
There you go.
It's like month anniversaries. It's like,
you know
I barely
weird,
registered you were even a couple, let alone that you were together for 30 or 31 days. So, like, bravo, congratulations. What do you want?
Yeah, I'll extend this little olive branch with, except for this contingency. So, if you're like a young new couple and you're in the like head over heels honeymoon phase and you want to celebrate a month, 6 months, whatever, all right, fine. I'm not going to tell you not to do that. What makes it weird is when you hit a year and then you still do monthly milestones, like a year and 3 months or whatever. And it's like, no, please stop.
What are you getting out of this? Do you?
Yeah,
is it for like attention from people? In which case, okay, you're just an attention seeker. That's fine.
Or the worst case scenario, from each other. It's like, hi, it's been 13 months. Look at me.
Look at me. I still exist. It's like, yes, you do.
It's like the fucking SpongeBob meme when they keep the Krusty Krab open for 24 hours a day, and they're open for like 3 months straight.
Day 13! Give it up for day 13!
Month 17! Give it up for month 17!
And this is coming from a guy who's been in a relationship for nearly 8 years. Like, this is
a guy whose longest relationship is the current ongoing one, about to hit 3 years. So...
It's a miracle, really, that I've managed to get into this one and be in it for so long, but
yeah, at this
really,
point, it's like...
it really gives you some perspective on the way other people celebrate their own relationships.
Yeah, at this point, it's like trying to get to the pension at a job. It's like, just gotta get to that one point, and then they can't. They can't leave at that point. It'll cost them more to leave.
Give me 2 more years, and then I'll get my relationship pension. What the fuck are we talking about?
I don't know. You said you wanted to recap last episode?
Yeah, the fears. That was a good one. That was a big one. That was a big friendly discussion.
Yeah. Let's go through the minute marks on the last episode.
Minute 1.
Laughed at a stupid thing one of us said.
But yeah, no, there's quite a few fears that I forgot to mention as well, which is
okay.
I don't know, it can be like a footnote. I am also scared of nuclear war. Both in the concept of fiction and in reality.
I feel, especially in reality, I feel like there are some universal fears that are like, yeah, it kind of goes without saying. Nuclear war, I feel like that fits into that camp.
Like, Terminator 2 Judgment Day is my favorite movie of all time, right? But when that scene happens, like, where it's the skeleton on the chain link fence, I'm just like... like, I'm seething in my own fucking discomfort of that whole thing. Luckily, it doesn't last long. It's like a minute-long scene, if that, but yeah it's, you kind of forget that the whole, like, subplot of Terminator is that there's gonna be a nuke dropped on the city by Skynet.
I mean, implications are even more global than that, but yeah.
Yeah, they just destroy the entire world with nukes, and then it's like, it's a robot and a small boy.
In the Skynet future, it's not just America that's fucked, is it? It's the whole world?
Oh yeah, it's the whole world, because Skynet achieved self-awareness, and then it fired nukes at the Russians, who then sent nukes back, so it was just like a whole world fucked scenario.
Yeah, because there are some fictions that are like that, where it's like, oh, it's basically post-apocalyptic, new civilization, but it was just in America. Like, fucking Hunger Games is like that.
Yeah, like France, totally fine. England, totally fine. Australia, like totally fine. Canada, totally fine.
Like, I get we're not the popular kid in the world, but nobody helped us?
Who would?
You know what? With those 2 words, you completely shot down my entire country. I can't even argue with that. So...
but yeah, nuclear warfare is definitely up there, like both in fiction and reality. Quite a niche one is Lavender Town.
Oh, the song or the town itself?
They go hand in hand, honestly. Just in the original Pokemon games, I cannot listen to that. Even in the remixes, I can't listen to that fucking thing because of a creepypasta convincing me that it was actually like, listen to this and you'll fucking have severe medical side effects. Yeah. No, it's just fucking creepy when you listen to it actually. And then the entire concept of the town being a fucking graveyard because Pokemon can literally die. Like, no, can't do it.
I mean, that was definitely like a rude awakening in the game, just being like, yeah, these things do die. And they will.
And they did. Remember Gary's Raticate?
Is that like a canon thing?
It's assumed because at that point in the game, you fight your rival and he has a Rattata that then evolves into Eradicate. But then, when you beat him on the SSN, like, that's the last time you see him. Next time you see the rival, he's in the fucking Pokemon graveyard. Oh. And then he doesn't have Eradicate on his team anymore, so... a lot of people have assumed that is basically, like, maybe not intended, but it's something that you can read into.
Yeah, because I was going to say, if it wasn't for the fact that you said the next time you see him's at the graveyard and he doesn't have it, I would have been like, well, Gary's an asshole in canon, so I wouldn't doubt that he just threw the Raticate away for something better, but...
I don't think there's anything, like, in the original text that says anything like that, but... I think he even says, like, I can't kill your Pokemon, but I can at least make them faint, and then you start fighting, and it's like, dude, what the fuck? Why would you say that?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, people downstairs in the fucking lobby crying over their dead Clefairy, like, what the fuck? And there's a whole thing with the Marowak as well, and the Cubone, like the Marowak that died protecting its Cubone kid from Team Rocket.
Yeah.
Whole town's fucked, and then in the second generation...
Part of the game?
It's your favorite?
It's my favorite part of the game.
Why?
I love that song. I love the, like...
You love the Lavender Town song?
Oh my god, it's my favorite song in the game.
You're fucking with me. You're kidding, right?
No, I'm dead ass.
How?
It's I don't know. It's just got the good beeps and boops that my brain likes.
See, the beeps and boops make me have fucking panic attacks, so I don't understand.
I don't know, something about, like, the melody of it. Like, once it's, like... You know that point in the song where it's, like, it's just beep, boop, and then it hits the boop, boop.
I hate it. I hate it.
That's my favorite. Oh, I love
hate it. Oh, it gives me the fucking creeps. I cringe. I can't do it.
I think because it's Pokemon and that whole just world, like, downplays the spookiness to me, it just becomes, like, a neat little, like, ooh. Like Mickey Mouse tried to get spooky today. Like, that's how it feels to me.
Mickey Mouse went to Vietnam. But yeah, I can't.
Goofy just happened to be standing in front of a tombstone that said Max, but you can read more into it if you so desire. Nothing in the text directly says that's his son.
I'm confused as to what your intention is with that.
I don't know.
Are you making fun of me? Are you lampshading me? What are you doing?
It's definitely not that malicious.
I have to assume with you. I can never tell.
You don't actually. You
Okay.
don't actually have to assume that.
But, point being, it was that. Spiders, can't deal with spiders.
That's fair. I wouldn't say I'm afraid of spiders, but it's one of those things where it's like, if I turn and I see one on the wall, I'm like, ah, fucker. It's like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, that I can't deal with. Frogs and toads, can't deal with them.
Really? I didn't know that one.
No, can't deal with it. Can't deal with it.
Any particular reason, or just because they look creepy?
They look creepy, they're still, but they're alive, and they're looking at you, and it's like, why the fuck are you not moving at all? And then they suddenly move, and you're like, oh, fuck. Can't deal with that.
I don't think I've ever had an experience where I've looked at a frog and gone, it's looking at me.
I mean, both of its eyes are looking in opposite directions, but, you know, you can, if it was able to look forward like humans, it'd probably be looking at me.
Do other reptiles, like, or amphibians or lizards or whatever like that?
Yeah, no, now you mention it, I can't deal with any lizards or reptiles or anything, like dragons or anything, like, no, thank you.
That's shocking to me, because Ellie strikes me as, like, a lizard person.
I mean, they are kind of like a lizard themselves, but...
But I mean in the sense that they would want lizards as pets.
Not in my house.
That is where we draw the line.
My sisters have had lizards as pets before, and I've always been like, oh...
Not going in there.
Yeah, literally. I think that's it for the fit. Oh, the Lost Media thing.
Oh, yeah, and you sent me that thing, and
Like, some instances you're like, okay, Lost Media isn't scary when it's like, I don't know, pilots of television shows, or like movies that weren't properly finished, or Mean Girls on the Nintendo DS. Like, that stuff isn't creepy, but like, the ones that creep me out are like suicide tapes, killer diaries, like audio of people dying, like that kind of stuff.
But I feel like that's more to the point of the subject matter, not so much the Lost Media aspect, if that makes sense.
Well, there's like different dimensions to it. Like, say for example the Steve Irwin tapes of him being stung in the chest by the stingray and then dying. All of that was caught on camera, and because like he always told his film crew never to stop filming, even if something like this would happen. So it's the idea, it's that nukes in the ocean thing. It's the idea that it's out there and it exists, but you can't see it and you don't know where it is.
Yeah.
Not in a sense that it could attack you, like a videotape isn't just gonna fucking unspool itself and strangle you with its insides, but like, I don't know, it's just, there's that factor, there's that creepy factor of like suicide videos that were like broadcast on live television, just being kept in a vault somewhere, like it exists, like, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't want to watch it. Like, I get that, but it would just be more, I don't know. It doesn't strike me as a fear response for me. It's definitely, like, unsettling.
And that's what I mean. Like, I'm not, like, freaking out, but, like, I will get unsettled and I'll get the heebie-jeebies from, like,
that's
hearing about it. But,
that's
I don't know. Were any fears that you left out?
No, and listening back to the episode, it was actually more shocking to me how, like, little I could come up with. Like, even... I'm not going to go into it, because Brooks has explicitly stated to me, since the last episode came out, we are just, like, done talking about Evangelion. Like, he just can't do it anymore. And that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, like, as I was listening to it, I was just like, man, why doesn't this bother me? Like, it actually started to bother me. I had that
same thought, like, in the editing. I was like, are you... What? Did we watch the same thing? Like, I'm convinced that maybe you watched, like a PG version or something.
Nope. But, like, it actually kind of bothers me that it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I don't understand it, and it upsets me that you don't at least understand why I feel these ways.
Well,
because
no, I do understand it. It's just I don't get the same response from it. Like,
and
when
I
you explain
don't understand.
Like, when you explain your reaction and the reasonings of it, like, I totally get it. I'm just looking at that same screen and going, yeah, okay. And I don't know why.
The thing that got me, like, during the editing is, like, I'm scared of this, but why? And it's like, because it's scary. And then you're like, but why do you feel that way? It's like, I don't fucking know what to tell you.
I just meant, like, what's the rationale of, like, because, like, okay, you look at a spider and you go, that thing could bite me and hurt me. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? And you look at nuclear warfare. That would kill everyone I know and love, including myself. That makes sense. So when you say this anime that depicted an end-of-the-world scenario that then got reversed... I just want to know what was it. It
barely got reversed. You cannot say the things went back to normal afterward.
But, well...
They're now in a fucking post-apocalyptic hellscape with a giant fucking disintegrating 15-year-old on the horizon.
Well, the implications being...
Yeah, but it's not about the implications. It's about what you see.
But
you can't just... you can't imply shit. You can't just imply shit and then hope that I feel that way. It's like... No, I'm instead fucking mentally scarred by the entire preceding half an hour.
I don't get anywhere near to the point of mentally scarred.
I don't know. That is a response. Our brains are just different, I guess.
Right. And I don't get it. I don't know why I'm not... I don't know.
You're built different. Congratulations. Sure. Congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah. Alright? But, yeah,
everybody
point being
in my subconscious standing and clapping for me.
During the editing, I thought, you know what? Maybe I overreacted. So I went back and I watched all, like, 10 minutes of the third impact, as it's called in the show. And then I had another panic attack and I was like, you know what? No, I'm closing the book on this part of my life. I'm not going to try and rewatch it. I'm done with Evangelion 100%. It's not me. It's not good for me mentally. We're not doing it anymore. So
fair enough.
Don't expect any more Evangelion talk on the podcast. Because it's not happening. Even behind the scenes. Like, if you're a friend of mine, don't talk to me about it. Please.
My response to that is literally that TikTok audio that's like, fair enough. I'm a little lost, but fair enough.
Uh-huh.
Like, no judgment. I totally get it. I just don't have the same reaction.
You get it, but you don't get it.
No, I fucking get it!
Alright. Stop yelling at me.
This episode, we're going to talk about video games.
Vidigames.
We both are not necessarily elite gamers, but
what are you talking about? I thought we had cans of Mountain Dew in our fridge and fucking Doritos on tap.
Yeah, we MLG it up 24/7, dog.
420 no scope blaze fucking whatever.
Fortnite. Do the dance.
PUBG.
No, PUBG is out, dog. It's all about the Apex Legends.
Is it even about Apex anymore?
It's certainly less about Fortnite than it was a couple months ago.
The Fortnite train is still chugging along, I think. They're introducing different IPs and properties to it now. Like, isn't the fucking like Ripley and the Alien in fucking Fortnite now?
I have no idea. I feel like once they introduced Thanos, it started its like steady decline.
Yeah, I think every sort of like pop culture thing has now been ingrained into Fortnite now.
Yeah, I feel like now it's at the level of most other video games instead of being the biggest thing in the world.
I don't even get Fortnite. Like, I played it a couple of times and I was like, this is fun. But then, like, 3 years later, everyone's still playing it, and I'm like, why?
That was the thing that was weird to me.
It's not like
I
Minecraft, where like you can definitely see like the endless possibilities and why it's gotten to where it is. Like Fortnite is just for one game mode.
Yeah.
How can you have that much fun with it for years on end? There's only so much fun you can get out of it.
The weirdest thing to me was that in like 2018, I remember seeing Fortnite. Someone showed it to me and I was like, oh, okay. It was like this new alternative game to PUBG, which was huge at the time. And then Fortnite slowly started getting popular. And then I didn't hear about it for like 2 years. And then, out of nowhere, it became the biggest fucking thing in the world. And I don't know what happened.
I mean, it's canon to the MCU. It was in Endgame.
That is true.
Which is the strangest thing in the world to me.
I made that TikTok years ago when Endgame first came out, where I was like, does no one else think it's weird that Thor is playing Fortnite when he's like got the biggest PTSD in the world from just saying Thanos' name, and Thanos is in that fucking game?
Well, it's like a whole thing of in that universe, the Thanos wasn't added into Fortnite.
If you're gonna make Fortnite canon, then Fortnite is canon. To me, that includes everything in Fortnite.
Well, but then you could also say like movies featuring actors also in the MCU don't exist. I mean, Hot Tub Time Machine is canon to the MCU, right?
Is it? Oh, yes.
Because when Rhodey and Ant-Man were talking about time travel in movies, they were just listing off all of these movies that supposedly exist in the MCU, right? But
who's in the MCU that's in Hot Tub Time Machine?
Well, it's not specifically Hot Tub Time Machine. My point is that like you would suspend your disbelief to that point if they did share an actor. You would just like write that off, yeah?
Sometimes you can just have fun with it.
I mean, that's what they were doing with Fortnite. It was just a fun little thing.
But my point was, we both play video games and have for a while.
Video games. Been playing them for ever.
Yeah, I've been playing video games since I was like...
Oh, come on, we're talking like age 3 or 4 here. Like,
no, not that early for me.
I can't exactly carbon date when I started playing, but like
maybe like
even like old like Game and Watch like games you get in like Happy Meals, McDonald's toys. Like I was playing those. They count as games. Like
sure, yeah, they do.
I wasn't playing Resident Evil when I was 5, but you know.
Yeah, right.
Games are games, bro.
Let's start with this. What is the first video game you remember owning and playing?
Ooh, good question.
If you need time to think, I know my answer.
Games I remember from my childhood are like the Jak and Daxter franchise, I guess. Like Jak 2 was probably my first favorite video game.
Okay.
I would have been like 8 or so, I think, at the time.
But what about like just in general, the first game you remember owning and playing?
Well,
not necessarily favorite.
Here's the thing,
just, like it's what you had.
When I was young, I would always get the PlayStation magazines, which had demo discs.
That's right, you guys had that more than we did.
Yeah, we had demo discs for a lot of different games, and if we want to get technical, like when when my PlayStation 2, my first one, was bought for me, it came with the demo disc, and it had Airblade, Dark Cloud, Klonoa 2, like all of those games on it.
Klonoa. Sorry.
Huh?
It's my fucking brain. It's a Kid Icarus reference.
What?
He did a video about Klonoa. I don't think it was the second one, but there's a bit in the video where he starts pronouncing it funny, and that's one of the ways he does it. I'm sorry.
I must have missed that video, because I like Kid Icarus. I just didn't get what you were doing.
Sorry.
It's fine, but yeah, no, I guess, okay, Dark Cloud is probably going to be my answer to that question of what's the first game I remember playing. And I still play it to this day. Fucking...
It's, as far as I can tell, like, your favorite or one of your favorite games.
It's number 2. In the number 2 spot.
There you go. But we'll get into a little bit more of that
if
later.
I had to rank it. But, like, yeah, no, I remember doing demos more than I do actual games. If we're talking, like, actual games, I remember doing Dark Cloud, Simpsons Road Rage, Simpsons Hit or Run... just random all sorts. I remember getting Stuart Little 2 on the PlayStation from Blockbusters and just doing it in one sitting. And that was the first game I ever completed, like, start to finish, in one go.
Yeah, my first completed game came much later in life. Well, not that
Oh,
much
the
later,
Monster
but...
Inc. game. I remember playing that. Just games have been a constant in my life. Like, I can't pinpoint specific dates. I just have memories, you know?
Fair enough. My first game, I think, legitimately, was Pokemon. Red or Blue.
Oh, for God's sakes, yeah, Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal, those are games I grew up with, 100%.
What generation of Pokemon did you stop buying all the different versions of the game?
I think Black and White were my final ones. But that's only because they started doing it on consoles that I didn't have, like the 3DS, so I couldn't physically play them anymore. But yeah.
I never was able to get a copy of Emerald, but intentional last time I bought every version was Diamond and Pearl.
I think Black and White are actually not that bad. They do like a couple of different things. They put a new spin on a lot of the game, which Diamond and Pearl did not do, which I think is actually pretty cool. I can't speak
I
for
the whole I like the mining thing in Diamond and Pearl.
There's a mining thing.
There's
oh
a
yeah,
whole,
I never did
that.
that. I never did that because I thought it was boring.
I kind of liked it.
Like, why am I mining? I'm here to do the Pokemon thing.
Yeah, I don't remember what it gave you, what those ores or whatever did, but I liked it.
Well, I mean, Diamond and Pearl were great fun, and I can't wait for the remakes. But Black and White were probably my my last dedicated effort into the Pokemon franchise. I can't speak for the sequels. Never played those. I missed X and Y completely. I missed Sun and Moon completely. I picked up Pokemon Shield, I think.
Oh.
I played it for an evening, and that was a year ago.
It's so different.
Yeah, I played a bit into Let's Go. I think I finished the SSN on Let's Go, but even then, I'm just like, my favorite Pokemon games are Generation 2, Gold, Silver, Crystal. In my opinion, nothing really beats those games. Obviously, they're not perfect; they have flaws, but they're millions of times better than Generation 1. Which is, I don't care what anyone says, those games have aged fucking horribly, and they are held together with fucking string and prayers. That's a majority of what happened with that franchise, when it started, but then...
Please just hold
I mean, yeah, there's so many fucking programming bugs and, glitches, missing No for fuck's sake. I mean, you got Mew, the Mew glitch and everything. Obviously, it was the first entry into the franchise, it wasn't going to be perfect, but that's why I prefer Generation 2, because it took everything from the first games, and it made it so much better.
My favorite is probably the remake of Gen 1, Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Oh yeah, 100%. I've played those probably the most, except for Crystal. I think Crystal I've played the most, and then Fire Red and Leaf Green.
I love the Gen 1 setup, and that version of the game is French kiss. It's so good.
100%.
But... yeah, Red and Blue were definitely my first games. I loved Gen 2 as well.
Gen 3, I'm not big on.
Pokemon Yellow was always the one that was it was just so much more limiting.
I mean, it was basically the same. You just had Pikachu following you around, and then they put in, references to the anime.
Here's the thing right off the bat, right? You have to start with Pikachu. You don't get the other 3 starters. They're not an option. So... I would always pick my starters, as much as Charmander's my favorite, I would always pick my starters based on the first few gyms, because you don't know, at least when I was a kid, I didn't know what I was going to be able to catch. And so, unless you're able, which for some reason in Pokemon Yellow, it was way harder to find a fucking Mankey in that one area, you know where I'm talking about, by Viridian City?
Yeah, the bit off Viridian City, yeah.
And so, I never had anything that could fucking fight Brock by the time I got to him.
This is why,
Gym 1, I'm fucked!
Well, saying this, the starters are, for all intents and purposes, difficulty scales. Bulbasaur is easy mode, Squirtle is medium, and then, Charmander is hard mode.
Yeah. Because then, after that, you have Misty, and then after that, you have Lieutenant Surge. So if you take Bulbasaur, all 3 of those are boom, boom, boom. Done.
Well, I mean, Grass isn't super effective against Electric, but...
between the 3 of them, it's your best shot.
You'd be fine with Charmander on Lieutenant Surge. Plus, Charmander, I think, can learn Dig, which is effective against electric types, so...
This is why I don't talk about Pokemon a lot with my friends, because they know more about it than I do.
I mean, are we going to talk about your Fire
No,
Red
we're
Nuzlocke?
not. We're not. We're not.
Oh, come on. Oh, please, can we talk about it?
Well, now that you fucking said it, can't just leave everybody hanging.
You did a Let's Play series on YouTube. You didn't finish it. I can't remember what happened to make you not finish it, but you got, I'd say, a decent chunk into the game, like over halfway. You did a Nuzlocke challenge
Clown.
of Fire Red, and you exposed your balls. Let's just say that much. Like,
I am not a Pokemon master. I am essentially Ash Ketchum. No, I'm better than Ash.
Even then.
It was my first of all, let's just address the fact it was my first time doing a Nuzlocke ever.
He's getting really defensive, everybody.
And for anyone who doesn't know, which is fair, a Nuzlocke is a run that you do of a Pokemon game where there's a lot of rules, but the basics is that you can only catch one Pokemon per new area. It has to be the first thing you run into. There are sub-rules, like if it's a duplicate of something you already have, maybe you can skip it. Maybe, depending on how you do your rules. And if a Pokemon dies, you have to release it. It's considered dead forever. So, those are the basic rules. There are more, but it was my first time doing that. So, can we just accept that part as some of this before we judge the shit out of me and laugh at the clown?
Oh, I was laughing at the clown because you didn't know how the fuck to do the trash puzzle.
Oh, yeah, look at me. I know everything about Pokemon, and my friend doesn't, because what the fuck? Who just... I haven't played that fucking Gen 1 since I was 5, and the fuck? You expect me to know how the fucking puzzle works after not playing it since I was fucking 5?
You did it in, like, the worst possible way that anyone could have done it.
Yes.
And I think it's hilarious.
I didn't do good at the puzzle
it's when you started to, like, blame the game for being like, there's no pattern to this, there's no rhyme or reason. There is a pattern, there is rhyme and reason, but, you know. No, I just think it's funny. I think, hey, come on, like, no one's an expert at video games. No one ever is. If they're telling you they are...
I inherently know which towns had marts in them and which ones didn't.
The smaller ones don't, the bigger ones do.
Great.
What do you want?
You laughed at me because of Celadon.
Oh yeah, is there a mort in Celadon?
Oh, he does the fucking voice and everything, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, you're posting fucking pictures of egg salad on your fucking Instagram. I'm allowed to have one thing.
'Cause you dared me!
I said you wouldn't do it. That's not a dare. Me. That's reverse psychology.
No, it's daring me.
I did not say I dare you to do it.
It is the same thing.
It is not.
It is. Ask anyone in the world if saying you won't do it.
I refuse.
Yeah, because you know what the answer's gonna be.
No, I don't, and you don't either. Schrodinger's answer.
Oh, yeah, if I just don't ask, I can't be wrong.
Exactly. Fucking, you get it.
God almighty.
Video games.
Long story short, this is going to come up a lot. I'm not good at most video games. It already came up last episode when I said I wasn't good at Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, but you do this thing where you just resign yourself to just being bad almost forever. You don't ever make it seem like you want to improve. You're just like, oh, I tried it, I'm bad, I give up, I'm done. Like,
I have not ever once said I give up, I'm done.
I mean, no, but you give off that attitude is what I'm saying.
I think that's you projecting. I've never once done that. I just say I'm bad at it.
I'm not projecting shit. I know that I'm bad at some games, and then I try to improve.
Well, I have done nothing to imply I don't. I just say I'm bad at the game.
Oh yeah, but you'll get better. That's all I'm saying.
This is the bitterest chatter we've ever had. And it's the fucking video game episode.
I'm not even bitter. It's just...
No, I'm admitting it's all me.
Yeah.
All the salt's coming from this end of the table.
Well, we'll probably shift the salt over to my side at some point, but...
Maybe. Depends if we need to do salt and egg salad. But
did we want to bust out our 3x3s?
Yeah, so Brooks came up with the good idea to make 3x3s, which, if you don't know 3x3, it's literally exactly what it sounds like. You just make a 9-image collage of whatever it is that the topic is. And for us, it is... would you say it's favorite video games or like most influential video games for us?
Yeah.
To which one?
Both.
Okay, well there you go. So do we just want to do one at a time our entire 3x3, or do we want to like take turns different games, or what?
We'll do each 3x3 one at a time, because you present it as a whole image. Each square comes together to form a complete picture of that person.
Sure. For the video listeners, and you're going to have to send me yours so I remember to do this, but for the video listeners, we will put it up on screen as we're talking about it. So for the audio onlys, hopefully you know what games we're talking about, or you can check us out on YouTube.
Yeah, or we'll just say what it is, and then you can Google it. Be a big boy.
Yes, obviously we're not going to just talk about the game and not say the title, but still.
I think this game's really good because you go around and you catch all these little pocket monsters.
Yeah, what's it called? I don't know.
Digimon.
This is a game with a gun, you shoot things, and it's pretty fun. Anyway, moving on.
What was it called? Hello Kitty Fun Time Adventure?
So, alright, let's have you go first.
Okay, so this obviously is in no particular order. I could rank these if I really wanted, and I probably will when we go further into it, but...
real quick, can you just send me to it again? Send it to me again on Messenger.
Send me and do the thing.
Send me to it.
I want to go to there.
3x3.
I'm just going to list off all of the titles one by one to get individual gauged reactions, and then I'll go into details about all of them.
Sure, yeah.
So, the 9 games I'm presenting today are Final Fantasy X for the PlayStation 2.
It's the 10th one. Not the
On the PlayStation 2. Yeah. Dark Cloud for the PlayStation 2.
It's dark.
And cloudy. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for the Nintendo Switch.
Breath stinky because he's out in the wild.
Are you going to do this for all of them?
Can you tell I haven't played the games he said so far?
Pokemon Crystal on the Game Boy Color.
This one's a classic. We were talking about it before. This one I did play.
Mm-hmm. Resident Evil 4 on every conceivable platform you can imagine.
And it's been on a lot.
They've really done it a lot, but my primary experiences with it are on the PlayStation series of consoles.
Yeah, fair enough.
Final Fantasy X-2, the sequel.
We got 2 of them in here, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Double it up.
Also on the PlayStation. Far Cry 3 for the PlayStation 3.
This one surprised me just because I've never heard you talk about this series at all.
We'll get into it when I get to that game.
Yeah.
Spyro Year of the Dragon for the PlayStation 1.
I fucking love this game, and if he didn't put it on his, I would have put it on mine.
Literally. And final game in this 3x3, Zone of the Enders, the second runner for the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, this is basically an anime.
Can you tell I have a favorite console? Xbox can go sit on itself. PlayStation has always been my cup of tea, and Nintendo handhelds, of course. But never had a GameCube, sadly. I actually had a choice between getting a GameCube and a PlayStation 2. I think I went the right way with getting a PlayStation 2.
I was very fortunate to eventually have both, but I only had a GameCube for a long time.
I mean, GameCube isn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. You've got fucking Smash Bros. You've got
GameCube,
Luigi's Mansion.
And if you try to talk shit on the GameCube, I'm gonna punch you in your teeth.
You got F-Zero. You got Resident Evil 4 was on the GameCube, oddly enough.
Yeah, it was.
What's that game with the giant egg?
With the giant egg?
Billy something. Billy and the Egg.
Oh, fucking... Hold on.
I think it was a launch title.
Shit, now all I can think of is Billy and the Egg.
It's like his name is Billy and he is in the title. It's like he's a giant chicken and he has a massive egg.
Billy Hatcher and the giant egg.
Right, there we go.
Billy and the Egg.
I remember seeing like adverts for that and I was like, can I get a GameCube? And then they, my parents, bought me a PlayStation instead, which, not a bad choice. DVD player built in, like fucking loads of classic games. There's quite a few on here that I haven't listed, namely Simpsons Hit and Run, Dragon Ball Z Budokai, Road Rage Simpsons, quite a lot of games, honestly. There's a lot. There's a lot I have played. There's a lot I haven't played. We'll probably get into the nitty-gritty of that when I go into each detail, but yeah, did you maybe want to ask about any specific game first?
Well, I do want to ask about Far Cry, just because, like I said, you've never talked about this series. I had no idea you even ever played it.
I've only played the third one.
Okay.
And this is because, for the longest time, I had my PlayStation 2. But then, several years, I think this must have been like 2012, I actually got a PS3. And I was like, oh, we're leveling up. We're through the looking glass.
Upgrades, people, upgrades.
Upgrades. So, I got that. And one of the games that was included in the bundle, I think I got it with Gran Turismo 5, Uncharted 3, and Far Cry 3.
It's a hell of a fucking bundle.
And weirdly, like, a copy of the Amazing Spider-Man movie. I have that in my Nintendo, fucking Sony, sorry, my Sony library.
I got it with my Nintendo Play Cube.
I got a Spider-Man.
My Nintendo Playbox.
But yeah, out of those 3 games, Gran Turismo 5 couldn't play it. And I just never...
What do you mean couldn't?
I had trouble with the controls, and it just wasn't fun.
Oh, I don't like the Gran Turismo games.
Racing games that I played were like the Burnout games, so that's like different. Gran Turismo is like a racing simulator, you know?
I always played fucking kart racers. I didn't like the realistic ones.
Car races and everything, yeah, but no, I couldn't play Gran Turismo, and that's probably why it put me off wanting to learn how to drive a car.
Okay.
Because I couldn't even play it on the video game box. I couldn't do it in my real life.
I a big 4-wheel monster with the 2 sticks and some buttons. How am I supposed to do it with pedals and a wheel?
Literally, that was my thought process. But yeah, no, so Far Cry 3 was the game that I invested the most time into, and everyone knows about VAS. Have I ever told you the definition of insanity? All that shit, yeah?
Yeah, at this point, it's like the most memed online because everyone... And it started off like, oh, what a cool line, and like a year into it, people were like, that's not what it is.
In context, in the game, it's, you know, it's standard villain monologue, it's aight. But this was probably, like, my eye-opening game to, like, what the next generation was at the time. Like, there's just so many new, like, updated graphics and control styles and, like, scale and story and everything. Like, it's a run-of-the-mill shooter. You play as a guy who goes to a Pacific, I want to say. It's an island. And
right.
He goes there with his friends and they get kidnapped and he has to save them from pirates and that. But it's an open-world game. You have 2 islands. Story is basically shoot, get your friends, take some drugs, play some poker, drive some cars, hunt animals. Yeah, it's pretty decent, and I picked it up again for PlayStation 4 because it was on sale on the PlayStation Store for quite cheap, so I picked it up, played it again, and I was like, yo, it's pretty good.
It's still good.
Hey, that's pretty good. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It's probably, like, really basic to some people, and, like, the story is questionable, but I have fun. I have fun playing it. It's like a cool game to, like, zen out and just, you know, drive and shoot and infiltrate. There's stealth and everything. There's, like, platforming. It's good. It's just good. Like, I don't know. There's nothing really more to it. It was probably my first game in that generation, so it,
first, like, big next-gen game?
Yeah, at the time it was next gen. Now it seems almost basic compared to what we have now. Now it's a couple
generations ago.
We're old. But yeah, no, that was my first foray into PlayStation 3, and I'll always remember it fondly.
Now, there's 2 games on your 3x3 that I feel like people are going to know the least out of everything else.
What's that?
And the biggest one is probably Dark Cloud.
100%, yeah.
So why don't you talk about that one next?
So this is a game that was, I think it was originally intended to be a launch title for the PlayStation 2, but I think it got delayed until a couple of months after release. But this is basically The Legend of Zelda crossed with The Sims in a very weird way.
Sims?
With The Sims. So what happens is you play as this boy who's on the cover here. His name is Toan, but you can change it to whatever you want to change it to. There's this dark genie that basically takes the world and seals up everything into, well, no, actually, he destroys the world, but the Fairy King takes all of the people, all the buildings, all the roads and trees and rivers and shit, and puts them in little balls. Little magic balls that are then spread out into dungeons. And so your idea is that you have to go into these dungeons, fight monsters, rescue these people and their houses, and then, when you're in the overworld, you can rebuild these villages as you see fit. You can put a house here.
Fight the genie and break his balls. Sorry.
I don't understand you.
I don't understand myself. Please just go on.
But yeah, so you can put a house here, a house there, put a river there, who gives a shit, you can do whatever you want, but the villagers want it built in a certain way. Yeah, it blends these two styles like really interestingly. And
you've told me about this game before. I had no idea there was like this almost roller coaster tycoon aspect to it.
Yeah, it kind of is like that almost. But yeah, you can pretty much build these towns however you see, you can customize them, but the villagers want it a certain way, like they'll have requests about what they want with their place, so there's I would
really like it if the river's not right next to my cows, because they just fall in and drown, and I don't like that.
You pretty much got it. That is it. Some people like to face the sun, some people like to be far away from other villages, some people want to be in specific parts of the overworld, like... There's stuff to it. There's like, I think 5 or 6 different towns that you get to rebuild, and like 5 or 6, no, there's way more. There's like 8 dungeons in the whole game that you go through. And the interesting thing about it is that you play as 6 different characters. They're like allies that you recruit along the journey. You don't level up yourselves, but your weapons do. Your weapons have like levels, and they can evolve into other weapons.
So is there any aspect of the game where like you end up with more health points or something?
Oh yeah, each character has a food that's their favorite food, and then you can find that sometimes, and it gives them more hit points if you give it to them.
Well, hold on. Do you mean that as like a healing potion type of thing? Because I mean like your max HP, like leveling up.
Yeah. You have hit points, like, and you have food to replenish your hit points, but then you get a permanent increase if you give, like, Toan's favorite food is a fluffy donut. Like, if you find a donut, you give it to Toan, his health points go from 70 to about 80, so...
Oh, okay.
And you also have a thirst mechanic, which is really funny in hindsight, but...
How much does your character simp?
Kind of, except not at all, because it's literally about hydration.
Okay, I figured.
You go into a dungeon, you have a thirst meter. You have your health bar, you have your weapon health bar, and then you have your thirst meter. The more time you spend in there, the thirstier you get. If your thirst meter runs out, your health starts to go down in increments.
I see.
So you can't spend too long in these dungeons, because they have like floors that you have to progress down into.
Interesting.
So yeah, you have water that you can drink, you have like waterfalls inside the dungeons to replenish your thirstometer, and yeah, it's just really fun to play, and plus, it's so replayable, because every dungeon that you visit, like, it has a set number of rooms and hallways with like enemies and chests in, but it's different every single time. It's completely randomized.
Ooh.
So each time you go into a dungeon, it's a completely new experience. Even if you've been to that floor before, it will then change upon a second visit.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So that's why I've been replaying that almost like once every 2 years or so for the past 20 years. But yeah, no, that's really fun. I'd honestly say you can check it out. It's on the PlayStation Store if you wanted to get it.
There you go.
I'd say it's worth having a look.
There you go. Now, the other game that I was going to say is probably a little bit more obscure is Zone of the Enders.
So you know Metal Gear Solid?
I do.
Same guy.
What do you mean same guy? Same guy what?
It's not Snake, sorry. It's Hideo Kojima. He made this.
I actually did not know he made this.
Yeah, it's I think the official subtitle for this game is High Speed Robot Action.
Well, the one you put what?
Zone of the Enders is a 2-game, technically 3-game series.
Right.
But also had an anime. and a movie.
Is there a specific entry in the franchise that you're putting here?
The second runner, which is entry number 2.
Okay, good. I'm glad
The first game and the second game can be compared, honestly, in terms of like style and themes to Terminator 1 and Terminator 2.
Really?
In the Zone of the Enders 1 is, it's not quite as high on the action. It's more about the, I don't even know what the gameplay can be described as. Like, you have battles, but they're not really like balls to the wall insane kind of things. They're more just like, keep hitting this thing until it dies, you know?
This is a mech thing, right?
Oh yeah, it's mechs. It's, you fly giant robots, and, you're going about Mars and various different planets, and, yeah. But the first game has a lot of, heavy elements to the story, kind of similar to Evangelion, if you look at it.
And here we were trying
way.
to avoid that.
Well, this one does it in, like, not a, horrifying way. This one does it in just, like, it's an extraterrestrial experience, you know?
Right.
And then the second one is fucking just high-speed octane fucking robot action, like, just fucking go here, go there, bam, bam, shoot, slash, slash.
Is the second one the one where your first battle is against the final boss and he wrecks your shit?
So the first game, you have the final boss, like, he comes out of nowhere, he destroys your shit completely, and then it's like, you can't face him yet, and then the game ends.
Oh, the first game ends with that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then the second game picks up, and that kind of happens again. Except the game doesn't end this time. You instead have to basically spend the whole game getting your mech to be on the same level as that mech, and then you finally get to fight him at the end.
Oh.
It's super fucking good, but the only downside to it, specifically the second one, I guess you can level this criticism at the first one in some parts, is the dubbing, the voice acting.
Oh, not good?
Fucking horrible. I don't know what was going on in the director's booth for a lot of Zone of the Enders 2, but the line delivery is bad, like the voice acting is just not good at all. I mean, that's for the main character. There's a couple of side characters who are like not great. The main villain is voiced by, I think his name's Roger Jackson. He's done a lot of different voice work and voice acting. He's the voice of Ghostface in Scream, oddly enough.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, no, he's done a lot of different acting, so his role was good, but yeah, the line delivery is fucking trash, and I don't get it. And like some of the translations from Japanese have like butchered the intent of the words and what they mean, so sometimes they're just talking in English, but you don't know what they're saying, like what it means, you know?
Mm.
And a cool feature about the second game is that it has different bosses that are different, like mech suits and everything, and one of them was designed by the guy who makes Persona.
Ah!
You can definitely tell, because it's like really unique and cool, and really like creative boss battle and everything, but yeah, no, if you like robots and you like going through space and like hitting things, go for it. It's pretty good.
Did you ever play any of the Persona games?
I've played a little bit at the beginning of Persona 5, but then, because I'm a piece of shit, I start games, and then I don't pick them up again, and I don't know why I do this, because I actually enjoyed my time with Persona 5, and I hate myself.
I started playing Persona 3.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about this. Like years ago when you did it.
Yeah, the only reason I stopped playing it is because I had to part ways with my PS2. Otherwise, I would have kept playing it.
Bruh, you really had to do that?
Because that's when I moved, and I couldn't take it with me.
Oh, that sucks.
So, that was that. But I did enjoy it, and I would like to, at some point, go back to it and maybe play the rest of the series. Because it's cool, man. It's like a JoJo's RPG, essentially.
Yeah, I got that feel, but this is a theme with me, is that I'll play games, but then I will like pick it up for an evening and then just not continue it, and I don't know why.
And yet, he was levying that criticism against me earlier in this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, here at Bitter Chatter, we stand against hypocrisy. And by that I mean we do it all the fucking time, and we will not stop. So, next on your thing that I wanted to go over...
Hold on.
Huh?
Hold on.
What?
It takes a lot of mental energy to pick up something new and continue to do something new. Sometimes, I just want to play games that I know what I'm getting, and it's a comfort thing.
Sure, that works. That's fine. That's totally fine. Speaking of comfort games, why don't we just hit two birds with one stone here and just go over the Final Fantasy X games?
Yeah, Final Fantasy X, on its own, is my favorite game of all time.
This is your favorite?
100%.
I thought it was going to be Resident Evil 4.
No, if I had to rank it, it'd probably be Final Fantasy X, Dark Cloud, Resident Evil 4, Pokemon Crystal, and then the rest go on. But this game is the first Final Fantasy entry into the PlayStation 2, which was at the time the next gen.
That's right.
And first game with full voice acting, 3D rendered environments, a whole lot of firsts.
And Blitzball.
Blitzball. Yeah, there's this game is a lot. There's a lot of things about it that make it the best game of all time. There's the story, there's the characters, there's the gameplay itself, there's a lot of faults. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect, but in spite of those really bad, really bad questionable design choices.
I want to take a crack at what you're referencing here. Is it really the bonus challenges?
In a sense, yes.
Because I know
if you were to play the game from start to finish and just not do any of the side quests, I think you'd be fine. I don't think there's any severe difficulties, but as is a staple with Final Fantasy, you have characters that have the ultimate weapons, the best weapons that you could possibly get for that character.
Yeah, each have a unique one.
The way that you can attain these weapons in Final Fantasy X is by, first you have to obtain the weapon itself, but it's not an ultimate weapon yet. It can't do anything. So you have to get a crest and a sigil to power up the weapon.
Oh.
Some of these are just really easy. Some of them are you can even find them just lying around in the overworld. You'll get them in the story. You don't even have to do much. But then other ones...
Now, there's one particular challenge I know you hate, and so we can briefly discuss the Chocobo race.
It's given me PTSD, bro.
Yeah, it's real bad.
I've broken controllers, and I most recently played Final Fantasy X quite recently, actually. I finished it about maybe a month and a half ago on the Nintendo Switch.
Just like we were saying, Resident Evil 4's been on a lot of consoles, Final Fantasy X's gotten around.
It's getting there, and that's because, it deserves to be played by a lot of different walks of people who, for some reason, choose to play on Xbox. Don't know why you do that, but...
Are we really, hold on. This is the second time you've done this shit in this episode. Are we really gonna play this fucking game?
I just think it's funny that people like you get mad when I feign to...
Normally I don't give a shit. It's when you keep doing it. It's like, what? What?
I don't know, Xbox just seems like the fucking, your boring dad,
Based on
a very fundamentally, dry approach to gaming that seems to have, no fun, PlayStation seems like it has more fun.
It's the same games!
It's fundamentally not.
Okay, you're doing this just to bother me. I'm not gonna let it happen. Please continue about Final Fantasy X and the Chocobo race.
Yeah, it's the most random fucking bullshit in the whole world, because you can't control... Actually, you can control, eventually, the direction in which your fucking chocobo goes. For those who don't know, a chocobo is just basically a giant chicken that you ride. And you have to train these chocobos to, be able to race them against the chocobo trainer. And, oh my god... It is the most frustrating, randomized fucking bullshit in the entire game.
What's randomized about this?
Okay, you really want me to get into details?
Well, as brief as you can, but yeah.
So there's a field in the game, giant field, where you have to race your chocobo from start to end against the chocobo racer.
So it's just a straight shot, it's not like a lap?
There's just one start point, one end point.
Gotcha.
But you have to beat them there, and you have to get a lower time than them. By doing this...
Isn't that just inherent in beating them?
Well, no, because you could finish for a second, but you would still be able to win by getting a reduced time, because across the field are randomly placed balloons.
Oh.
If you pick up a balloon, you get 3 seconds shaved off of your time.
Mm.
These are all randomly placed throughout the track.
Mm.
But then, there are birds that dive bomb and fly straight at you and hit you and stumble you and make you pause. They add on 2 seconds to your time.
Oof.
They are randomly generated, and sometimes they hit you, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they are right in front of you and they just go by you. Sometimes they are immediately, like, far away on your left and they will hit you. So, normally, you just be able to beat the Chocobo Racer and it's fine. Except that there are prizes for doing so.
Right.
To get the number 1 prize, which is the Sun Sigil, which is powering up the main character's ultimate weapon, you have to get a time of less than 0 seconds.
Wow!
Less than 0. Not 0, not 0.1 or 0.2, less than 0.
So you essentially have to, like, get all the balloons and pray you don't get hit by birds.
Mm-hmm. The most amount of balloons that you are able to get, bearing in mind it's like a 30-second dash to the point of winning. You have to get hit by less than 2 birds, but then also get more than 14 balloons.
That sounds like a lot.
This has fucking given me... It's taken years off my life, I'm pretty sure. The amount of times I've stressed and screamed and fucking... Because there's no pattern. There's literally no amount of consistency. It is all randomly generated. Where the balloons are, where the birds are, what kind of pattern the Chocobo Racer that you're facing is going to go. It's just pure luck. And sometimes it can take like less than an hour to do it. Sometimes it will take you 4 hours. I've had to do it on multiple days. I've had to do it for like several hours, stop it, because I'm going to die if I keep going, and then I come back to it the next day, ad nauseum, until I finally do it. Because I don't know why I decide to do this, I just feel like I have to. Bearing in mind, up until my most recent playthrough on the Switch, I'd never beaten this game 100%.
That's shocking to me, really?
And it's because of shit like this. Not only this, you also have to dodge 200 lightning bolts in the Thunder Plains to get another weapon powered up.
Right.
And then you have to do the butterfly catching minigame, which is bullshit.
Are any of these sigils or crests connected to Blitzball?
Oh, and then there's Blitzball. The meme of Blitzball and everything. It's like, okay, Blitzball as a minigame, it's, I describe it as like the NFL, but underwater.
I feel like it makes way less sense.
It makes barely any amount of sense. There is math involved, but fuck it if it actually makes any sense. And it can be some of the most boring, tedious, long-winded shit to do. There's elements of fun in there. Like, if you're good at it, it can be quite fun. If you're too good at it, it can be boring. If you're set up in the game's storyline, as you have been, it's a nightmare. It's hell on earth. It's fucking horrible. Because there's a bit in the game where you have to play, I think it's maybe 2 games. No, it's 1 game. You have to play 1 game against the championship team, and your team sucks shit. It's a point in the story that they have not ever won a game, like, in the last, like, decade.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, they're the fucking worst.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, I've done it, like, maybe twice. I've beaten the championship team maybe twice. And even then, I don't know how the fuck I managed to do it.
Yeah.
Because it works on numbers, like, your numbers have to be higher than the opposing team, but you have maybe, like, 1 or 2 decent players on your team that could maybe score you a goal or 2. It's just fucking bullshit a lot of the time. And I don't understand how it got past and all the testing and went into the wild as it did. It's shocking to me.
Yeah. This is his favorite video game of all time, ladies and gentlemen.
100%, because of the story and the characters, like, it's so emotionally moving, it makes me cry every time.
Right,
like,
there's obviously, I'm joking, there's so much more to this RPG than the fucking blitzball minigame and the fucking chocobo race. But
it's just
funny how, like, the last, like,
good.
5-10 minutes, we've just been like, oh, and then there's this fucking part.
Well, that's the thing, is that, like, no piece of media is truly perfect.
I don't think so.
There's always going to be downgrades and, like, side bits that are bad.
Well, again, this is the second time we forgot to mention Bill and Ted, but I'll let it slide. Yeah, it's there's obviously the minigames are not going to be fantastic. Not everything's going to be triple triad, but the actual
saying
game.
This, like, the Final Fantasy franchise, like, 10 is my favorite, and that's only because every other Final Fantasy I've played, I've not enjoyed.
At all?
Not really.
Which other ones have you played?
I played the first one.
Like the first one, or the first Western one? Which was actually 3.
The first one.
Okay.
Didn't really know what to do in that game, because it has no conveyance at all.
Okay, fair enough. I've never played that one.
Then I played Final Fantasy 3 on the DS. Similar sort of issue, just couldn't get into it.
Fair enough.
Played Final Fantasy 4 on the PSP. It didn't hook me.
I'm surprised you kept buying these early ones.
Because they're all different.
I mean, yes, but considering they're still in the first, like, 5, and you didn't like any of them.
Well, then I bought 7.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna piss off a lot of people.
Ooh, here we go. First hot take of the episode.
I think it's just boring.
Boring. You're using that word. Boring?
For me, specifically, yes. I'm not saying that it is objectively boring, because it's not. It's one of the greatest video games ever made, right? But to me, I get really bored playing it, and I don't enjoy it.
I mean,
And that's just the original. I've not done the remake. I may do the remake when it goes down in price, but even then, like, that's not really a true remake, so...
Yeah, I was just gonna say, from what I've heard, the remake is like a half a remake, half a sequel, almost. Like, there's timeline weirdness.
Yeah, it's timeline weirdness, but no, I played the demo of the new Final Fantasy VII, and I enjoyed that. Like, the presentation is stellar. Our friend Liam is going through it, and he really enjoys it, and he's not one for JRPGs at all, so...
I didn't know he was playing it.
Yeah, no, he fucking loves it.
The remake, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He might pick up the original, he says to me, and I'm like, okay, I hope you enjoy it, because I didn't.
It's funny we're having this conversation, because when the remake got announced and I heard that there was timeline weirdness and I shouldn't just play the remake, or at least that was what was recommended to me, I found on the Xbox game store the original that you can buy on there and play it.
Yeah, it's really cheap on most online stores.
And I was like, fuck it, let me play the original Final Fantasy VII. And I haven't finished it yet, but I do want to go back to it. I've been enjoying it. I mean, it's definitely like, you can feel its age a little bit, but...
for sure.
There's nothing really about it that's been like, nah, I don't like this. Like, so far...
For me, like, I can't remember the bit I got up to. I got to the point where it's like, you do the first mission, obviously. And I think the furthest I ever got was when you meet Aerith for the first time.
Oh, you're really early.
Yeah, I couldn't stick with it. I don't know. I was just like, I was going through the overworld, and I was like, this is so boring.
I got up to where the remake ends.
Fair. I know the story. I know the whole story. Like, the characters of Final Fantasy VII are really cool, and I watched the Advent Children movie. That's really cool. Sephiroth is fucking boss. He's a really cool villain, but... I don't know. It's just, if it was a movie, I'd probably prefer it, but I don't know. I couldn't get into it. And I'm sorry that it is going to offend some people, but that's just what taste is, huh?
Yeah.
And I played a bit of Final Fantasy VIII, didn't get into that. Played Final Fantasy IX very recently on the Switch, and again, no conveyancy, couldn't do it.
There you go.
And that's a question for another time. Do video games need conveyancy or even a walkthrough to be enjoyable? But that's another debate for another time.
Yeah, let's do that another time, because that would take up some chunkage here, I think.
So then, Final Fantasy X is my favorite game. The sequel, 10-2. Very different. A lot of people don't like it. I enjoy it for the same reasons that I enjoy the first one, just in different ways.
There you go. And yeah, for anyone who doesn't know much about the Final Fantasy series, and it's like 8, 9, 10, and 10-2, what? Like, every differently numbered Final Fantasy games, so like 7, 8, 9, 10, they all have a different... It's like JoJo's, actually. They all have a different cast of characters, a different setting, a different plot. They're not connected. Well, maybe some of them are a little bit, but for the most part, no.
There's loose connections, but for all intents and purposes, they all take place in different universes.
Exactly. And then you'll get the occasional, like it's only happened a couple times, sequel to one of the games. So 10-2 takes place in the same universe, it's got the same characters, it's a sequel to Final Fantasy X.
And they did it with Final Fantasy 13 as well.
That's the
like
other one.
At least 3 times, I think. And oh yeah, I played Final Fantasy 13 on the PS3, and again I got bored.
That's
I don't know what it is.
Isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is. That's the one. That is the one. But
we really are the Final Fantasy.
Oh, and I played 12 as well on the PS2. Again, got bored.
Anything about 12? I don't know anything about any of the games after 10, to be honest.
I wanted to pick up 15, but then I saw Super Eye Patch Wolf's video review of it, and I was like, maybe not.
Yeah, all I know is you can make really pretty looking food in that game.
Yeah, that's a weird mechanic that's in like a lot of games now.
But I think before we go on to the rest of your 3x3, we should at this point do a little ad break.
Press A to ad break.
I'm pressing A now.
Sorry!
Press B to cancel the ad break.
Well, I don't want to cancel it, but I think it's done now.
What? The ad break stopped evolving.
Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
Well, okay, let me rephrase that question, because I know that...
Have you ever done that? Done what, Carmine?
Well, you know what I'm talking about, because it's what we just referenced.
Yes, but they don't.
The thing in Pokemon where you can cancel an evolution. Because, obviously, later in life, you know the advantages of it for certain Pokemon, because you can learn moves.
Yeah, that's literally the only reason why. Like,
right.
When I was a kid, I didn't really do it.
That
maybe did it on accident, but
that was
not
more what I was
intentionally.
asking. Like, as a kid, did you ever go, no, I don't want it to evolve?
I did it maybe once or twice, but only on accident. I never did it on purpose.
Yeah, I was actually, like, terrified to hit the B button. Like, I would, like, put my fucking Game Boy down. Because I was like, I don't want to cancel this shit. Because
if you press the B button, the giant Nintendo hand comes out and just slaps you.
Because the first time, before I knew better, I thought, like, if you canceled it, it would never evolve.
No.
Well, I know that now. But when I was, like, 6, I was like,
why are you
if
so
I cancel
defensive?
it'll just never evolve, and I'll be stuck with the fucking Charmander forever. I can't fucking touch it.
That would be so shit. Like,
It would be.
I mean, there are challenge runs where you have to stay with the first form evolution for like the whole game.
Oh,
but
sure. But yeah,
those are challenges, and they are challenging.
Yes. So
I might do that with Crystal soon. Honestly,
there you go. This one will be quick because we kind of already talked about it last episode. But let's go over Resident Evil 4 a little bit.
I remember my brother had it on his PlayStation, and then I played it like by myself because I was like maybe 7 at the time, and no, I couldn't have been 7. When did this game come out? 2005.
2005.
I would have been 10.
Little 10-year-old baby Brooks.
Yeah, basically, and then I played it and I shat myself. I was so scared. Couldn't do it. It's fucking horrifying. So then I bought it for myself later on, picked it up, played it, finished to end, and I was like, oh my god. This fucking game. It's like one of the best survival horror games ever made. Holy god. And then I picked it up on the PS3, played it start to finish, and then I picked it up on the PS4, did it start to finish 3 times on each difficulty setting, and completed it 100%.
There you go.
Fucking good game, bruh.
It's a good game.
And if you ever go back into it, come to me. I'll help you out.
I will. Another kind of quick one, because we've referenced it a lot already, is let's do Pokemon Crystal.
Pokemon Crystal, it takes the second generation, which was already a market improvement over the first one, because they kind of knew what they were doing.
Yes.
And it made it better.
The night and day mechanic, the different Pokeballs you could make,
the moving sprites, everything's in color now, shiny Pokemon.
The rival is unfortunately a little bit more forgettable, but...
Hey, I love the rival from that game. He's just a dickhead.
Yeah, but because
like, he's like a Bakugo, in a way.
I think because there's no anime equivalent to him. Like, we always joke, like, Gary from the first game. That's not Gary, but Gary's the equivalent in the anime. And then
I think his name in the series is Blue.
Yeah, canonically, the main character's red, and the rival's blue, no matter
which the end of the end of the second generation where you fight Red. Oh my god.
That's awesome.
The fucking, like, the ability to go back into Kanto blew my fucking mind.
Yeah. I remember playing Soul Silver, the remake for that generation.
Oh yeah, the remakes are fun. The thing is, I've not really played those as much because I don't have it on an emulator, and then if I wanted to start again, I would have... I was saying, I do have a DS, but I've played it once. If I wanted to play a new game, I'd have to get rid of my babies, my new team, and I didn't want to do that. That's like the only drawback to Pokemon is that there's no save slots.
Yeah, you only have your one save game on there.
If it was, like, the ability to have save slots, I think that would make it a whole lot better, and I would probably still be playing it.
It's weird that we're so far into that franchise and they still, as far as I know, don't have that feature.
I think it's so that you can bond with your Pokemon more, I guess, but...
But who's not going to do that anyway?
Exactly.
Like, it just, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's something about a Pokemon save file that's, like, so fucking humongous you can't have more than one. I don't know. But,
games are pretty big, to be fair.
Yeah. But, yeah.
And it is, like, a handheld console as well, so maybe there's just less space. I don't know the details. I'm not Mr. Nintendo.
Yeah, and just like how in Gen 1 you had Pokemon Yellow, which was a different take on the same game, essentially, Crystal's a little bit different than Gold and Silver.
Yeah, it adds improvements, it makes the sprites move, it updates a lot of the sprites because some of the Pokemon they introduced in Gold and Silver, some of their sprites were kind of fucked up, so didn't really look how they were meant to, but yeah, different soundtrack as well for some parts, different areas, new areas, like, it's just a whole new improvement, and I really like it a lot. Playing through it now, actually.
It's coincidentally a lyric in the theme song for the Johto anime, so.
Let me get my emulator up. I have it on my phone. I've been playing Crystal lately.
Okay.
Let's take a look at where I am and what my team is.
Sure, we'll do this.
Because every time I play this, I try to do like a different team each time, just to like make it different.
I wish I had the strength to do that. I always go for the same fucking Pokemon, because I just like them.
I mean, I'm gonna run out eventually, but there's definitely some in here that I haven't used. But current team at the moment is a Natu, which I need to train up so that I can learn Fly, because I haven't done that yet, because I'm a piece of shit. I got an Arbok, I got a Hitmontop, I got a Fortress, first time using that, fucking weird little thing, but okay. And I picked Totodile as my starter, which is now currently a Croconaw.
I love Totodile. Totodile's my favorite Gen 2 starter.
They're all good, and I take it, like, personally, whenever people rag on Chikorita.
Oh, there's no reason to do that. There's no reason to rag on any of the starters.
It's so adorable and so cute, and it's like a little bean with a massive leaf on its head. Holy shit, it's so cute. How could anyone say that it's bad?
Let's real quick do this for let's say the first 3 generations, because I don't have a strong opinion after that. First generation, who's your favorite starter?
Bulbasaur.
Mine is Charmander. Don't ugh. You just said I take it personally when people rag on Chikorita. Go fuck yourself with the ugh on Charmander.
I'm not fucking ragging on Charmander, you piece of shit. What I'm saying is that everyone's favorite is fucking Charmander. It's so basic.
That is objectively not true. Do you know how much Bulbasaur love I see on the regular?
I never see any.
Oh, I see it all the time.
Do you want to swap circles?
Sure.
I feel like that would benefit us a lot.
Gen 2, who's your favorite starter?
Cyndaquil.
For me, it's Totodile. But they're all great. And then Gen 3, that's the Trico, Torchic, Mudkip.
Oh, God. I have, like, no attachment to any of them. They all suck.
What the fuck? I love Trico!
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Alright. He's a little weird, but alright. If I had to pick one, it'd probably be Torchic, because Blaziken is a fucking cool Pokemon. Fire fighting type. Really cool.
Yeah, I get a little bored of the firefighting. It happens so much.
I mean, that was only the first instance.
Well, that was the first one, but like that's at this point.
Infernape? Fucking sick.
Infernape's fine.
I also like Empoleon, though. Water, steel type.
4th generation is where I kind of stopped having like a strong opinion about it. But anyway, let's then dive into one of the newer games on this list. In fact, I think the newest. Yeah, definitely. Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, up until I played Breath of the Wild, I'd never actually played any Zelda games.
I have also not played any Zelda games.
Ellie really fucking loves Zelda to death. Like,
right.
Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, all of that shit. Like, they love it, 100%. But up until Breath of the Wild, I'd only ever played Link's Awakening on the Game Boy. And even then, I didn't really do much with it. I have since played a bit of Link to the Past on an emulator, and that's fun.
You know what one you should try is Wind Waker.
Wind Waker I've always wanted to do, but I've never had the consoles to.
Fair enough. I think the last time...
Because it was what? It was re-released on the Wii U, which I didn't have, and then it was originally released on GameCube. Didn't have that either.
Right,
so
yeah.
Just completely missed it. It looks fun.
Yeah. My sister played it a lot, and when I would watch her play, I'm like, this seems good.
I liked your brief Let's Play of it.
Yeah, I wish we could have finished that one.
Yeah, one day.
I would probably restart it at this point, because those first couple episodes were riddled with technical problems. But anyway. Breath of the Wild.
So fun. So fucking fun. I don't know what it is about this game, but it just fucking clicks. Like, free world, open exploring, do whatever you want. Like, get your shit wrecked if you go into a different area that you're not prepared for yet. Freedom, the characters.
It's essentially what the first Zelda game was.
Yeah, literally.
There was
just, you can cook meals, you can beat wildlife to death, you can ride horses, you can go to different areas that are like ice, lightning, fire. Oh, if you go there, you're set on fire. Yeah. Bad luck.
Walk into
Don't go to the center. Don't go to the center of the map, you'll fucking die.
Right.
Like, it's just really fun, really fucking good. Art style's great, story's great, the humor in it is fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much fun to just explore and go and do all this shit, and there's like so many fucking side quests. Like, oh my god, it's more side quests than main game.
And there's a lot of fun characters too.
Oh hell yeah, fucking love it. Super good game.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the sequel.
Yeah, that should be good. And then the last one.
Have you played it, Breath of the Wild?
I have not, but again, my sister's a huge Legend of Zelda fan, and so I've watched her play it a little bit, and also I am, as we've already said on the show, a Game Grumps fan, and I watched their playthrough of it, and it looks fantastic.
It's super fucking fun. I feel like you'd have a lot of fun with it.
Probably. I don't have a Switch, but I do want to get one.
You should get one, my friend.
And then the last one on your list here, I feel like would be a good transition from you to me, because we've both played this game, and we both love it, so let's talk about Spyro Year of the Dragon.
I love Spyro.
It's great.
The first one, rough around the edges, not that great. Second game, fucking good. Third game, solid. Completely fucking nailed it, in my opinion. Crash Bandicoot was one that I played alongside it, because you can't mention one without the other, Crash and Spyro.
Yeah, they're both those...
But I personally had more fun with Spyro.
Which is fair.
Then again, Crash Twinsanity on the PlayStation 2 was a game that I've played a lot, and I think that's fun.
Never touched that one, but it seems alright.
Very rough around the edges, but fundamentally very fun.
Yeah, this Spyro game, because the Spyro series has like a big leap in quality from one to the next to the next.
That's just getting into the fucking, is it just the original trilogy we're talking about?
Yeah.
Right, because then there was End of a Dragonfly, which was piece of shit awful. I've not played any of that new weird trilogy that they tried to make it all like serious like.
Yeah, but as far as
then
the first three
Skylanders.
games, the first one, it's like, it's good, it's a fun little platform, it's a little clunky, and then the second one, Ripto's Rage, it's like immediately a huge leap, like way better. Maybe a little too like easy in spots, like the bosses were a little like, all right, we're not doing much here. But then in the third one, I feel like everything just kind of clicked.
Yeah, definitely. It's a case of kind of like with Crash also, is that they just kept improving on themselves, and it really sort of cemented it as a fucking top franchise.
Well, with Crash, you have some arguments to be made about the third one, but
a lot of people say that it's like the best one. I don't agree personally.
I don't either.
But
that's your own opinion to have. Anyone who thinks that. But yeah, Spyro's fucking great. Enter the Dragon's great, and it's on the cover. But the thing I always remember about Spyro is the fucking skateboarding parts.
Oh, yes. Oh, I've not even included any skateboarding games in this 3x3. For fuck's sake, why?
I didn't in mind, but there's definitely one I would like to talk about.
Underground and Underground 2 are probably the best ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, I only ever played the Tony Hawk games at, like, a friend's house, so, like, I never owned one. But they're definitely, like, noticeably fun. But my big skating game, I said it before, was the fucking Disney Extreme Skate Adventure, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, not a bad one, but it's no Tony Hawk.
Certainly not. I don't care, though. I fucking love that game. I would play it right now.
There you go.
But, yeah, the Spyro skating.
Yeah, Spyro. Honestly, I've played the Reignited trilogy, like the first game, not done 2 or 3, and I don't know why.
Fair enough.
Don't know why. Again, I'm a piece of shit, and I pick things up, and then I just stop, and I don't know why.
You're allowed to do that.
No, I'm not.
It doesn't make you subhuman.
Yes, it does. It does to me. But yeah, that's a 3x3. There's a lot of games in here I haven't mentioned. I've also neglected one big franchise from it.
Oh, which would that be?
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh my god. So that reaction...
Kingdom Hearts, to me, can be summed up in one sentence from the Kingdom Hearts 3 Wikipedia article.
What would that sentence be?
Kingdom Hearts 3 is the 12th entry into the franchise.
Oh, god damn it.
Whoa.
When I was a kid, and I first heard about this cool new video game that had come out where you play as Disney characters and fight in an RPG, and you can team up with fucking Final Fantasy characters, and it was this really cool thing. I thought, I've got to get my hands on this fucking game. This sounds like the biggest game to ever come out in the history of humanity, and I have to have it. I never got it. But the more I see of it as the years go on, I am almost grateful that I did not get in on the ground floor. Because I feel like I would have sunk my life into that, and it is so fucking much. It is so much.
With Kingdom Hearts, there's no such thing as a side project or a side game.
Yeah.
Every single fucking entry has storyline impact and importance, and you will be lost if you skip any of them.
And they're all on different fucking consoles!
That's the worst part. Admittedly, they've only managed to fix this in hindsight because they've released it all on the in like a bundle almost.
Is it all included in these bundles?
Thing is, some of these games, because they're so old and they're on like shitty consoles, they've been remade into like movies that you watch instead of playing, which is a shame because 358 Days Over 2 for the DS, I played that and I thought that was really fun to just go around and play.
Always the one when people say it, I'm just like, what the fuck are we doing? What is that?
Well, there's a reason why it's called that, but yeah, that involves me getting into the fucking lore and story of Kingdom Hearts. And
that is a whole other episode.
We don't have 5 hours to fucking do this. Like, we don't. We fucking don't.
Nope.
But let me quickly pull up the list of all of the games so that I can tell you which ones I've played and which ones I've actually liked and enjoyed, because I think my favorite one is probably Kingdom Hearts 2.
That's
for the for PlayStation 2. That's,
Did you play 3?
Oh yeah, I played 3. Played it to finish, and My feelings about that are mixed, honestly.
Right.
But, yeah, Kingdom Hearts has, as of now, 13, I think, different games? Yeah, 13 games. Across PlayStation 2, Game Boy Advance, mobile phone, Nintendo DS, PSP, Nintendo 3DS, PlayStation 3, web browser, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Android, iOS, Nintendo Switch, and PC.
Web browser?
Yeah, that's Kingdom Hearts X, or Kingdom Hearts Key.
Ugh.
That's important to the story.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
So, Kingdom Hearts 1 for the PlayStation 2, I can't play that anymore. It's aged fucking horribly.
The first one.
The game is so clunky and like it doesn't really know what it's doing. Like,
fair enough.
That's a theme. That's a theme we're getting from these franchises. The first entry is always like shit compared to the rest of them. But
yeah.
Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advance, which was then remastered into a game, but only in Japan/America, so Europe never got it.
God.
So I couldn't play that, but I wanted to. I played it on the Game Boy, and that wasn't fun. Called Chain of Memories. Kingdom Hearts 2 on PlayStation 2, fucking loved that, really good, really enjoyed it. Probably one of my favorite games in the whole franchise.
Roxas, you're a piece of shit, Roxas.
Yeah. I mean, people rag on, like, the hour and a half opening a lot.
I mean, there's that also, but we're not even touching the fucking how stupidly complex the lore gets.
Oh yeah, we're not talking about the lore.
No.
But yeah, then Coded came out, which was a mobile game, which then got re-released onto the Nintendo DS as Recoded. Played that, fucking worst game in the franchise, according to me. So stupid, and I can't believe I spent £30 on it when it came out. It's fucking horrible. 358 Days Over 2, the only game you should bother playing on the DS. Is just neat and solid, nice little entry into the franchise. Birth by Sleep on the PSP, that's also really fun, different gameplay style, like, super fun to play. Dream Drop Distance, which I didn't play because it's on the 3DS, and I don't have a 3DS, unfortunately.
There you go.
Then there's the web browser game, and then there's the other web browser game.
Oh my god.
And then there's 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, which I didn't play. These are legitimate titles, I'm not making this up.
I know, but that one just really... I never heard of that one, and it's such a great fucking, like, Final Fantasy 12 title.
Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue is the full name of it. Thing is, it was a compilation. It wasn't even a full game on its own, it was a compilation.
Great.
It included a high-definition remaster of 3D Dream Drop Distance, and a cinematic film based on Kingdom Hearts X, or Key, however you want to pronounce it.
God almighty.
And then there's Kingdom Hearts 3, which was a mixed bag. I enjoyed playing it, but the story really kind of shat itself a little bit.
Fair enough.
And then there's now the new one, which is called Melody of Memory, which is just a rhythm game, but then that also,
It has fucking plot implications?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Isn't
Isn't the plot... Well, that would involve getting into the
We're not talking about the plot today. We're not doing it, because we're fucking near an hour and a half in, we've not even touched on your 3x3.
Yeah, let's actually just jump into that. So here's my 3x3 up on the screen. For the audio listeners, I'll go through the games now, and then we'll see if Brooks has any questions about them. So my 3x3 is as follows. Pokemon Red, Super Smash Bros. Melee, the Teen Titans game for the GameCube, Madden 08, Dark Souls, Halo 1, also known as Combat Evolved, Crash Team Racing, Sheep Raider, and Red Dead Redemption. So,
couple of AAA titles in there for sure. A couple of franchise players.
Oh yeah.
Some weird picks for sure, but
yes.
We'll get into these.
Yes. So, out of these, is there one you have a question about first?
When you first showed me this image, I was shocked that there was a Teen Titans video game.
Ooh, okay, let's talk about the Teen Titans game. I fucking love this game.
I didn't know it existed until yesterday. What the fuck?
It's great. I would play it right the fuck now. I would literally stop recording this podcast and be like, I gotta go. I gotta play the fucking Teen Titans game. It was the first game I ever beat just in general. Like, it was the first game I ever beat and saw credits roll. And Okay, let me just run through what the game is. It is a 3D action game, sort of like I guess you could call it like sort of a beat 'em up, but you walk into these 3D environments. You have the whole Teen Titans team at your disposal, and you can rotate between any of the 5 characters. And each one has a different moveset, and you just go through these levels trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, and then you find out it's like a big fourth wall break, and they've been put into a video game by this big amalgamation of Teen Titans villains, and it's fucking great. I would always lean towards playing as either Beast Boy or Cyborg, because their movesets were the coolest in my opinions, but all 5 of them are fun to play as. You can do different shit as each of them. And I still remember levels that gave me a hard time. I still remember levels that were like the most satisfying to beat. Like the boss fights were all great. And then it even had a multiplayer mode where you could like put a second controller in. I think you maybe even could put up to 4 in. And you could just like pick a character and jump into a fucking arena and beat each other up. It's fucking fantastic. And the roster for the multiplayer was massive. It was like every Teen Titans character you could think of. Still one of my favorite games ever. And maybe a lot of that is nostalgia. I haven't played it in years, but I would play it right the fuck now if it was in front of me.
I mean, I'm just looking at review scores, and a lot of it seems to be in the like the 75% out of 100 like threshold. So you might have something there. It might not just be nostalgia.
Yeah.
To make it clear, though, this game apparently was released on the GameCube, the PlayStation 2, and the Xbox, but then also the Game Boy Advance. So which version are you talking about?
Ooh, it was on the Game Boy Advance? I don't know how that would work.
There was at least a Teen Titans game on the Game Boy Advance. I don't know if it was this particular version of it, but
fair.
Yeah.
I played it on GameCube. I didn't even know it was on those other consoles.
You know what this art style really reminds me of?
What's up?
You know that Buzz Lightyear video game, like Star Command video game?
Oh, yeah. I could see that.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. I played that as a kid all the fucking time, by the way.
There you go.
But, yeah, no, this looks fun. PlayStation 2. I might see if I can pick that up, because literally until yesterday I didn't know this game existed, and I feel robbed, and I feel cheated, because I like Teen Titans as much as, probably not as much as Carmine, but as much as the next guy, so...
I have such, like, a soft spot in my soul for this game. It is, like, all-time favorite. Wow,
for such a niche title as well, that's impressive.
I part of it has to do with the fact that it was the first game I ever beat, because Dude, I told you about my experience with Metroid Prime. I just turned it on, and the fact that it was first person scared me, and I shut it off. Pokemon games hit a difficulty curve where at that age I wasn't beating them ever. Other games I had were not plot driven, like fucking Smash Brothers, and even then the one thing you could consider beating it was the classic mode, which Master Hand scared me, and I never played it. So the moment when the credits rolled on the Teen Titans game and I realized I just beat this game, I had such a sense of like pride. I was like, I finally fucking beat a video game, and it's one that I really enjoyed, and like I put a lot of time into it, and like it was just like a big moment for me as a kid.
That actually reminds me about Dark Cloud is that it took me like years to actually complete it and like see the end credits. Thing is, I would always get to the final boss, but I would never be in like a good enough state to beat the final boss. Like my weapons would just be like not the right ones, and my characters wouldn't be like good enough. So I just never beat it. But yeah, there was like a solid like 5 or 6 year gap in between when I first played it and then when I beat it.
Yeah. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But
it feels good to finally finish something.
Yes, it was a big moment for me. So what else you got for me? If you got anything else you want to ask about?
On the 3x3?
Yeah.
Why is specifically Madden 08 on here?
So
because for me, sports games are like barely video games. Like,
well, there's
with the exception of like how you use them. Like, I don't know, we use the WWE 2K series for making online video content, but
right.
As its own game, and I can probably like put this on any sort of like European football game, any golf game, any NHL, NFL, any of those games. They come out once a year. They barely seem like games to me, you know? Like, why is it specifically Madden 08 that is on this 3x3?
I put a lot of thought when I was making this 3x3 if I was going to include any Madden games, because I have a very tumultuous relationship with the Madden franchise. In recent years, they've almost like gone down in quality, sort of like the WWE games. Like it feels like they're putting less and less effort into it every year.
That's because it's a guaranteed like cash grab at this point. Like you barely have to do anything. If you have a formula that worked like 10 years ago, then they see no sense in deterring from it because it made them money.
Exactly, to the point where
And plus, they only have like less than a year to release or make these games even, so a lot of the times it is just going to be the same stuff. That's just the way that sports games are. Which is why whenever you're at like a bargain bin, you'll see so many different sports games from years gone by that are all just the fucking same and they're all like 50p each. Like, that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
What is it? Planned obsolescence is the term?
Planned obsolescence, yeah, probably a little bit. But,
yeah.
But if the further back you go, the better the games get. Like, so I'll just say this. I have like a weird addiction to Madden purely because I like football so much. And I'll just get this like, football! I'll just get this urge. Like, I want to play football. And I can't physically play it. And I can't physically play it, so let me fucking digitally play it. But these games
you can't
suck.
physically play football?
Well, I don't have people to play it with.
Oh, I thought you meant you had like an injury or something.
Yeah, my foot's missing. I can't play it. But
I would have went pro if it weren't for the bum knee.
Yeah. So it's one of the biggest franchises I'll like dump time into purely because like I like football. But the games suck now. But the first game in the Madden franchise I ever played was Madden 08, and oh my god, I played that game for years because it just was good. To the point where I have an original Xbox 360. I fucking bought a copy of Madden 08 just to see if it held up, and it does!
The thing I like to do is that when you have all of these like year-specific rosters, I like to go back in time and see who is on these rosters.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Any highlights on the roster? Does it have like a rookie like Tom Brady or something?
Oh well, he was 8 years in and already had 3 Super Bowls with this fucking game. But let me see.
How long has he been fucking going? Jesus,
20 fucking years, man.
Stop, Tom. Have a seat.
Let me
Jesus.
just look up the roster because I don't remember it. It's been a minute since I actually played it, but.
It's like when you look at the old WWE games and you see that Chris Benoit is still in them, and it's like, oh god, no.
Right.
Like, do any of these fucking Madden games have the Vic dogfighting guy in them?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let me see if fucking IGN, you fucking
Michael
suck.
Vick, that's the guy.
God Almighty, there is like no easy. Just look at the roster here, is there?
Just go on the Wikipedia page.
It's not that easy.
What do you mean it's not that easy?
Alright, let me see if this works.
Fucking Madden 08 roster, how hard can this be?
It's not there.
Why does Scott the Woz come up in my autocomplete when I search Madden 08?
I have no idea. Alright, we could dump a lot of time into this, but the point is, I played Madden 08 a lot in like, I don't know, what would that be, middle school, early high school? Like when me and my friends would spend the weekends at each other's houses, this was
I got the fucking rosters here. What team do you want to look at?
Take a look at the Giants, see who's on there.
The Giants. What division are they in again?
NFC East.
NFC East. Aha. New York Giants. 81 overall.
Oh, there you go. We were 1 year removed from a Super Bowl in this game, so...
Why did it download a file? Oh, it's a spreadsheet. Oh, okay. There's a lot of names. There's like 55 names.
Well, yeah.
Who do we got? We got O'Hara, Ruigamer, Madison, Webster, Ross, McQuarters, Cofield, Robbins, Joseph, Bell, Alford, Finn, Douglas, Demps, Butler, Jacobs, Drones, Bradshaw, Ward, Tynes, Strahan, Awasom, Subert, Pillar, Kiwanuka, Torbor, Deossi, Deal, Wimper, Pierce, Blackburn, Feagles, Manning. Hey, Eli Manning, there we go.
Yes.
Wright, Hasselback, Lorenzen, Umeniora, Tuck,
Umeniora,
Snee.
baby! OC Umeniora!
That's the guy. Tuck, Snee,
Just a tuck.
Lentz, Mitchell, Wilkinson, McKenzie, Dunn, Wilson, Bell, Shockey, Boss, Buress,
Jeremy
Tuma.
Shockey was on the 08 roster? Jesus!
Yeah, Jeremy Shockey. Tuma, Smith, Moss, Tyree, and Jennings.
David
Not Greg
Tyree?
Jennings.
No, Greg Jennings.
Michael Jennings.
David Tyree made the famous helmet catch in the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
Is that where he took his helmet off and he caught the ball?
No, it was when he went up to jump for it, and he caught it, but he only secured it by holding it against the top of his head.
Neat.
But even though he was up in midair when he got it, he hit the ground and still maintained it that whole time.
That's pretty sick. But this
and
is
not
an
to mention
incredibly
that-
niche conversation for anyone who isn't involved in the NFL at all.
Right. I didn't expect to put this much time into Madden, but the point was that I played 08 so much. That was every weekend for years. And then eventually we all upgraded to 09 and then Madden 10. But it just never... The magic from playing 08, because in this game, you could fucking make your own team. You could make your own players to fill that team. We would do that shit all weekend. And then put these teams up against each other and fucking just go nuts. It was great. And then they just slowly but surely started removing all of those abilities in the later games. And it's just I'm addicted to this game because I like football, or the series, I should say. But 08 is the best one I ever played.
That's fair. I don't think if I had to pick any sort of entry in sports games, it would probably be WWE 2K19, but that's again only because we make a video series online using that as the engine. So
yeah,
I've poured maybe 200 hours in the 2K20 at this point, and I hate myself, I hate my life, and I want to die.
Doesn't help that they skipped an entry because of Panorama.
Because of Panorama, and also because the game they released was probably one of the worst video games ever made.
It was the worst one they've done in at least a very long time.
And we've stuck with it.
But yeah.
Purely because we have to, but yeah, sports games, to each their own. I like Wii Sports.
There you go.
Oh, we haven't even talked about Mario Kart.
Well, okay, funny enough, let's just dive into something else on my 3x3 here, Crash Team Racing. Because...
Yeah, I played it once and I didn't get it.
Okay, that sentence boggles my mind for many reasons, but...
Well, it's because it has a different, it's not just, steer and, drift and that. You have, a nitro meter and stuff, and just, I don't know, I didn't have fun with it.
I mean, sure, but I was never really a Mario Kart kid.
See, I love Mario Kart. If you want me to fucking, calm down or anything, just give me a Switch with Mario Kart on it, and I'll just fucking zoom about the course.
See, for me, that was Crash Team Racing. I again,
That's fair. There's probably allegiances on both sides. It's like a this or that,
Oh yeah. Plus the fact that Crash Team Racing was a one-off. There's not a franchise of Crash Team Racing games.
Well, they did a lot of different Crash kart racing games.
Yeah, but it's nowhere near the extent of Mario Kart. You know what I mean?
No. It's not the same type of formula. Each time they tried to do something different, and it kind of sucked each time. So. And
then they just made the straight up remake recently,
which is apparently very good.
Apparently, which I would love to get it at some point. The story mode of this game, even who fucking plays a racing game for the story mode? But this one, I loved it with nitrous oxide as the villain. I have such an affinity for this game, and it's the reason why I like Tiny so much in the Crash Bandicoot series. Because I just saw a big man in a little cart, and I was like, that's fucking great. And he had the best top speed, but shit acceleration, because he's a heavy character in a racing game. It's just the items were fun, the bosses were fun. I remember the first time I saw Ripperoo. Okay, I had played Crash Team Racing without ever touching the Crash Bandicoot series beforehand, so I knew nothing about it going in.
Why would you even go into this game with no context? What position were you in where you could just do that?
It was gifted to me. I never played a Crash game, and someone gave me this. I guess they saw it and was like, oh, it's like the Mario Karts. and gave me that because I had a PS1, and I just fucking loved it. Still do love it. I played it not too long. Well, at this point, it was still a few years ago. But before I moved, I found my copy of the game and played it again. Still fucking great. Okay.
Cool. No, cool. I got nothing. I played it once and I got bored. I'm sorry. It's like I got nothing for you.
All right, fair enough. But
I'm glad that it holds up for you.
Oh yeah. Oh, I would play it again right now. It's fucking great.
I feel like you could say that about any game on this list. Probably.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe some less than others, but yeah, probably.
I mean, let's get Halo out of the way. This is for the Xbox, so I've never touched it, but tell me about why it's so good.
So, my first couple of memories with Halo came from, again, playing it at a friend's house. Actually, my first time playing it, I think, was at my friend Chris's birthday party. I think we were all like 7 or 8. Well, I don't know. When did Halo first come out? Let me actually double check that. Because
I think it came out in like 03 or something like that.
Halo.
Early 2000s, I'm pretty sure, because the Xbox came out in, what was it, 2001 or something like that?
This was 2001.
Hey, yeah, there you go.
So I was 6.
Wowee.
Maybe 7, maybe. But I went over to his house for his birthday, and they had the Xbox, which apparently had just come out. And there were like 10 of us. We just sat there playing Halo multiplayer the whole time. And it was amazing. I was sitting there like, what is this? I've never seen a game do things like this before. What is happening? It was like mind-blowing. And then later on, I went to my friend JJ's house, and he had Halo as well. And me and him were just going through the story mode together. And the first time I saw the Needler just like stick a bunch of fucking needles into a guy and then he exploded, I was like, this is amazing. But I didn't own an Xbox until middle school, like way later. And I didn't own a Halo game until Halo 3. So there was this long gap where I had seen and experienced Halo 1, and then I missed out on the franchise. I never touched Halo 2. And then when I was able to get into the Halo series, Halo 3 had just come out like a year or so ago. And so I was like, okay, shit, I can actually play this. And I loved it. Halo 3 is still a fantastic game. When I put Halo on this 3x3, it's really like the franchise. Except for the second
So what
game.
actually separates Halo from other first-person shooters? Because this is coming from me. I've never played it. I have like no experience with any of it at all. Like, I know surface level who Master Chief is. He's the Halo guy. But
I think what separates
in terms of like gameplay, what's different?
Well, I mean, just by having the like space setting, you inherently get a little bit more fun with the weapons and the different things you can do. The thing that separates it from, let's say, Call of Duty, because I did also play that in middle school and high school, and while the multiplayer of Call of Duty was fun for a little bit, I did not enjoy, and this goes for like all games I've realized about myself, I didn't enjoy the multiplayer aspect for the reason of I play video games to relax, and multiplayer modes in competitive games like that stress me the fuck out. Like, to an absurd degree. Probably too much. Like, it's probably not healthy the amount it stresses me out, but it stresses me the fuck out, and I can't deal with it. I remember I played League of Legends in high school.
League of Legends.
I had to stop,
League of Legends.
I had to stop because my friends were that kind of competitive, and I'm not. I'm just not. And
it takes the fun out, honestly.
I agree.
Like, especially when there's like a lot to the game. If it's like Mario Kart or like Wii Sports or something, then yeah, get competitive. But like,
right,
not if it's like a motherboard with like 20 million different things that you can do.
Oh god,
Because that separates it from just being like a base skill level to knowing more about the game. I hate that so much.
Yeah, and it's even to the point where like I know it's just a me thing, and not necessarily like, oh, maybe it was just because it was stressful in high school because I was in high school. Like a year or so ago re-downloaded League of Legends. Like let me just see if this will be a better experience this time. It wasn't. It was just as stressful and annoying, and I was like, I just can't do it.
League of Legends.
And so when I started realizing that about these shooters, I was like, okay, I don't really want to play the multiplayer. And with Call of Duty, the single player is just real war shooting guys, and it's like this sucks. Not sucks. It's not sucks, but like
it's not for you.
It wasn't as fun as Halo.
Yeah.
And now that there's the Master Chief Collection for Halo,
I keep honestly misreading that as like the Master Chef Collection, and I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Are we cooking now?
Now that exists, and like I said, I never played Halo 2. I've been going through it. I'm going through Halo 1 now, and I'm gonna try and go through the whole series because I loved Halo 3. I played and beat that game in high school. Halo Reach, probably my favorite game in the entire franchise. Just a fantastic game all the way through. Even what's probably considered a spin-off game, Halo ODST, which is like, it's not about Master Chief.
Oh, DST.
It's not about Master Chief or any Spartans. It's about the regular ass well, they're called ODST troops. And that one's even great. So yeah, I just want to like re-go through the franchise because when I was playing Halo 1 in middle school, it was through a fucking pirated copy where all you could do was play one random level of the campaign on loop, or you could play multiplayer, but you only had access to one map, and I'm pretty sure like 2 game types. So it was very limited, but I loved it. And so yeah, I actually got incredibly nostalgic when I was playing the Master Chief Collection, and I got to the level that was in that pirated copy of the campaign, because it's called the Silent Cartographer, and I'll never forget it because I played it a million fucking times. And when it came up as I was going through the Master Chief Collection campaign, I was like, oh my god, I actually feel like emotional that I'm like seeing this again. So yeah, Halo, for whatever reason, that's the one shooter franchise that's got like a soft spot for me.
Is Master Chief's name really John 117?
It's John something. It's kind of like he's an ambiguous super soldier type.
His name is John.
Yeah, and his like...
Oh my god, he's Master Chief Petty Officer John 117, also known as Master Chief.
That's why everyone just calls him Master Chief.
Yeah, if my name was John, I'd fucking want to be called Master Chief too. What the fuck is that? I really couldn't come up with a better name for him.
Now, I'll also say this. I didn't really play Halo 4, the 5th one, which I think is still called Halo 5, or if it's called Guardians, I don't know.
What the fuck?
I did never touch that one. I've heard...
Apparently the 6th one is called Halo Infinite or something.
Oh, right, I forgot about that.
That's not coming out yet, that's coming out later.
Apparently from 4 onwards, it's like a decline in quality. I'll take your word for it. I'll just stick to the trilogy and Reach and ODST, because...
What is it? We got Halo... Why is it, like, the first one only has a subtitle?
I don't know. I don't know if they expected, maybe it wasn't... Maybe they didn't know it was going to take off and become like a franchise.
So there's 1, 2, 3, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4... You have 4 games in between Halo 3 and Halo 4, and then 2 games in between 4 and 5, and then there's Halo Wars. Oh, a lot of games. There's a lot of games, John.
Part of the change in quality and that gap between games is that the studio that made the first trilogy and Reach and ODST was Bungie. And Reach was actually their last game with the franchise. And then it got moved to a different studio. I don't remember the reason why, but Halo got moved to a different studio called 343, and then they took it over. And as far as I know, they still have it. People like to point at just the fact that 343 took it as for why the quality dipped. I'm not sure how true that is. Like I said, I haven't really played the games that they've made. But the Bungie studio games, fucking... Well, I can't say that for 2 because that's the only one I haven't played yet, but I'm going to assume, I've never heard bad things about it, so I'm going to assume they're all good.
I mean, this Halo, isn't even touching on the culture of Halo. Like, you know the term Halo killer?
What does that refer to?
So basically, Halo came out and this was a whole big dick franchise, right? And it was Xbox's fucking, like, marquee series, yeah?
Yeah.
So every attempt by another studio to try and recreate that, they were often branded in their run-up as being Halo killers. So games like Brink and Haze and other such shit that never went anywhere. No, but yeah, like there's a lot of different studios that have tried to replicate Halo and have failed considerably because they're not Halo.
No, for sure.
But yeah, no, it's a lot of groundswell behind it, and it's cool that it's just on the Xbox. But you know, I've just never played it because again, I'm a PlayStation guy. So.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. So
do you want to talk about Dark Souls?
I'll talk about Dark Souls.
That's the other franchise on here that I think's like, well, other than Red Dead, but yeah, Dark Souls I've always wanted to play, but I then think of the time that I played Bloodborne, and then I think, maybe I'll just leave this one. Maybe I'll just let it sit. I don't need to experience this.
That's tricky, because Bloodborne, I haven't played Bloodborne because it's a PlayStation 4 exclusive, but it's, from what I've seen, way faster paced. You're like disincentivized to block with a shield. In fact, I don't think there's a shield in that game except for one that's like a joke shield because it sucks. So it's a very different experience than playing a Dark Souls game where sword and board is like what's the fucking word? Jesus, promoted.
I got nothing for you, buddy.
It's like promoted. Like, yeah, do it. You will get the fucking tryhards that are like, no shield run, just dodge. It's like, yeah, okay, but you don't have to do that.
What is the name for like the genre of this? So like Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Bloodborne. It fits into a genre, doesn't it?
I don't know what you would call it, but it's definitely
because it's listed as being like an action RPG, but like,
but it's so different from other things you'd find in the action RPG genre. Like if you put
there's the joke of difficult video games being the Dark Souls of X or Y, right? Right. It's because these games fundamentally have that difficulty level. And I feel like that's why I probably wouldn't be good at it, because if I can't do things and if I keep dying in a game, I just get angry and I don't want to play the game anymore.
Well, so here's the thing, right? It is difficult if you treat it like a normal action RPG, which is why I say you shouldn't really compare it or maybe even call it that. Because what it feeds on, the game is designed to kill you if you just run in and start swinging. You will die if you do that.
But I like doing that. That's my favorite thing is hack and slash.
What the game asks you to do is walk in, assess the situation, and plan out, not so stringently, but essentially plan out how you're going to deal with the situation, because you'll walk in and you'll see some enemies. Sometimes there will be enemies lying in wait that you're not seeing, but that's part of what you have to account for is like, something's probably going to try and jump out at me, and I have to be prepared for that. So I can't just run down this hallway and try and get to the big rat at the end of the sewer, because there's going to be 50 fucking rats chasing me that are waiting for me to run by. It's about patience and picking your shot. Because, like, just take a boss fight, for example. Like, forget the room full of 50 enemies. Take a boss fight against one enemy. If you just run in and start whack, 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 it will hit you once, take like half your health, and then you're going to be like, fuck, what do I do? And then you're going to panic and you're going to die.
That's literally been my experience with playing Bloodborne. Then it sets you so far fucking back, it's like, no.
Then there's the other thing about the checkpoints being
I'll leave it.
the bonfires. But if you just sit there and you just strafe and you wait for an opening because it will present itself, and then you hit maybe twice, and then you wait for the next opening because otherwise you're going to overextend yourself. Like it's a game about patience. And I have beaten the first two, and I'm making my way through the third one currently. They're fantastic games. Just, I had so much fun, and to be able to say I beat Dark Souls feels like a badge on my like gamer like Boy Scout belt. Like it's a really fun experience once you like know what you're in for, and you sit there and you're like, all right, I'm gonna fucking beat Dark Souls, and then you fight Gwyn at the end of Dark Souls 1, and it's like, I fucking beat Dark Souls. It's a real like cathartic game in that sense. And there's also the added aspect of like, you can build your character however you want to tackle this. If you want to fight with magic, if you want to fight with range, if you want to fight with quick striking weapons and dexterity, or if you want to go in like I did in Dark Souls 2 and just get the biggest fucking sword you can find. It's basically a fucking slab of metal, and swing that shit for big numbers. You can do that too. I really, really recommend Dark Souls to anyone listening. It is going to be difficult. You will die, but it's worth it. It's so much fun, and it's such a like accomplished feeling when you beat it.
I think I'll let you have that badge of honor. I will have the Chocobo racing and beating all of the Dark Aeons and Penance in Final Fantasy X. That'll be my Dark Souls, okay? Because as far as I'm concerned, if all of that shit was too stressful for me, I think Dark Souls would probably give me a fucking heart attack.
What I would love to do sometime, if we ever get the opportunity to, is if we're ever like physically in the same space and able to just sit down and play it, I would love to like coach you through a first run of Dark Souls.
Yeah, that is like quite a big format with a lot of online Let's Plays of Dark Souls, is that you have a guy who's like not really experienced with it, and then you have their coach who's sat by them, like telling them how to do things. Like, I'd love to do that. I'd probably fucking hit you over the head with a controller several times if you're willing to run that risk, but yeah, no, that's a fun concept to explore. I like the idea of that. It's just, it's not suited to me as a gamer, I don't think. I enjoy getting little successes, like, frequently. I'm not into the whole, like, play the long game and then you get punished for making one mistake.
No, you would still get that. It's not that cruel. It's not that cruel of a game. People make it out to be like, it's the hardest shit in the world. It's really...
I'm on the Wikipedia and it's fucking got its own little section about how difficult it is.
I mean, yes, it's got that reputation, especially when Dark Souls, the first one, came out. Its whole, like, marketing campaign was prepare to die.
No, I won't. I'm not going to pick up this game if you tell me that.
The trailer for the first Dark Souls, until the trailer for Mortal Kombat X, that was my favorite video game trailer ever. It's still, like, second place. Fucking fantastic. Because it says, like, prepare to die, and then it starts flashing all these different words for the end of it. So it's like, prepare to fucking... scream, fight, do
prepare
this,
to die, prepare to fly, prepare to cry, prepare to try.
The best part that no one ever talks about is the last word that flashes by is live. Prepare to live, because you will get another shot, you will fight again, and you're gonna eventually figure it out. Like, that's what the Dark Souls franchise is all about.
Oh, what a great world philosophy. What a fucking moral building series of quotations there.
I love it. I also just love the song that's in that trailer.
Is Mortal Kombat X trailer the one with Chop Suey?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure we're on the same page.
That was a fucking great trailer. No fighting games on my list, unless you count Super Smash Brothers.
Whenever I played that with a friend's house, I'd always pick Donkey Kong and just do the down motion where he just bangs his fists on the ground, and
you were that guy?
I didn't enjoy it.
Wait, you don't? Okay, well, hold on, we can get into that.
Partly because I'm not good at fighting games, like, in general, and so then for me to pick up this, like, not even knowing what the fuck I was doing, because there's no tutorial. You just pick up and you button mash, and then it either works or it doesn't, and for me, it didn't work because I was playing with people who knew what they were doing, and there's no real single-player thing proper, so I'm just like, miss me with that.
Which Smash did you play?
I think it was either Melee or Brawl.
Because they both have huge single-player modes.
Yeah, but I played them in the context of being around a friend's house.
Oh, okay,
So,
well, alright. Well,
and
now
plus,
that you have a Switch,
GameCube, Wii, all that stuff, like,
well, I can't say, because I don't know, I haven't played Smash Ultimate, but I would say, like, since you have a Switch, like...
I think Ellie has it, and they've enjoyed it, but I don't know, it's just, for me, it was, like, really hard to get the grips with, like, the fighting styles, and so, meh. I'm not big into fighting games anyway. Like,
I hate fighting
the
games.
closest I probably even get into that would be the Dragon Ball Z Budokai series for the PlayStation. But
I fucking hate fighting games. I've tried several times over the course of my gaming life to try and get into fighting games. I can't. I hate it.
plus, like, even gaming culture is inherently toxic because it's a very competitive thing, but, like, when you put that into fighting games,
the fighting
it's
game
like its own separate universe. Like, it has its own words and language, and I'm just like, I don't understand you. What does fucking rollback mean? What is that?
What do you mean you teched it? What does that mean?
I don't know, and I don't want to know. My brain's already full of other stuff.
Yeah.
Don't need more stuff.
Pass me on the fucking fighting games, but Smash? Hell yeah. I've been in...
What separates it?
It's a party game more than a fighting game. It's like Mario Kart.
It's the Mario Party is a party game.
It's the Mario Kart or Mario Party of fighting games.
Is it baby's first fighting game?
Not even. It's just fun. It's just...
Because I know there's a lot of competitive, like...
there's definitely a competitive Smash scene, but
it is a fighting game when you think about it.
Yes, in theory, but it doesn't operate the same way as any
Well, I said
other.
the culture around it as well. You have tier lists and all of that stuff.
You don't... Listen.
Like how Yoshi doesn't pay his taxes.
You have no... You can play Smash without getting involved in any of that. I've played almost every Smash game. I've never fucking looked at a tier list in my life. It does not matter. Like...
Tier lists are fun when they're funny.
They're not.
When they're taken seriously, it's boring as shit, because I don't understand it.
Right. I had a Nintendo 64, which I'm shocked, actually, now that I think about it, that I didn't put any Nintendo 64 games on this list, because, like, there's Hey You Pikachu, there's Mario 64. Like, I definitely played that console a lot. But one of the biggest entries on that console that I played a lot was the first Super Smash Bros., which had 8 characters. And I played the shit out of that. I usually played it either Samus or Donkey Kong. And it's just fucking fun. But I then forgot about it for years, and I didn't think there were more Smash games. And then I found out, years after I got a GameCube, that there was a sequel called Super Smash Bros. Melee. And holy shit, is that game like 1,000,000 times upgraded from the first fucking Smash Bros. It is a fantastic sequel. Now, does it deserve the still ongoing circle jerk around it? Probably not. It's not the best game ever made. Is it fun? Fuck yeah. Does it have a lot of cool shit in it? You bet. Is Brawl better? I don't know, but I'm not going to sit here and say Melee is the best shit ever made. And then I got
love the culture around the roster more than anything. I just love the idea that all the fighters across all the games are here. Like, and then fucking Sephiroth came in, and I was just like, oh my god.
And that's the best thing about the franchise, is that over the course of the series, you get different entries, like you get additions, and like fucking the Brawl, you got fucking Snake added into the mix. Like, what?
Snake! How the fuck? How did they get him?
And then
Crazy.
Smash 4 is a weird entry, because like they took some characters out, and like just the whole Wii U experience was like a little weird for a lot of people, because that console didn't sell very well. Overall, still a good game, but it's just like a weird entry. And then you get Smash Ultimate, which included every character that has ever been in the series. And then its own DLC characters on top of that. A massive roster. And from what I hear, a step up from what Smash 4 did. There was some like gameplay weirdness with Smash 4. Just a fucking top-notch like next entry. But the whole franchise has been fantastic. And Melee is sort of what got me into it like that. Even though I played the first one, Melee was the one that's like, oh, this shit's like for real. This is like legit good. So, yeah, I'll always remember Melee for that.
Maybe, if given a chance, I'll pick up a Brawl, or a Melee, or a Ultimate, or whatever the kids have nowadays. But it's not on my to-do list.
Fair enough. I just noticed we haven't talked about Pokemon Red yet, so, like...
I mean, we covered a lot of the Pokemon
there's not
talk.
much more to add.
My opinion is that it's aged horribly and is, like, held together by string, but, you know, it's the first entry into probably the world's most famous franchise of anything, so...
Yeah.
It's allowed to make mistakes, but when you already have, like, a game immediately following that fixed all of it, almost, to the point where it's, like, entirely enjoyable, I don't know, like... Sound design is, like, grating to the ears, like, the map design is kinda iffy, but... It started off the trend. It did something right, so we can't knock it, really.
I just love how generic the, like, when you're looking at your team, the sprites next to the names...
They have, like, 3 sprites for the, like, the menus, and
for
that's
everything.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I love it.
I thought you were going to talk about how, like, basic the ideas for Pokemon are, because you get to, like, certain generations, and every single new generation, there's always that crowd of people that are like, oh, Pokemon are so loud, they're out of ideas, it's just a trash bag, and it's like, fucking, one of the original Pokemon was just a rock.
A rock with a face and arms.
Rock with face and arms, and then what did that evolve into? Rock with face and more arms.
It has
what did that evolve into? Rock with head and arms and legs.
A rock with less arms.
What's the original idea for a Pokemon? A rat.
Yeah.
A bird.
And a bird. Yeah.
Like,
a couple birds. And a couple worms.
Yeah, like a caterpillar. Come on. Fuck do you want?
And a moth.
What do you want?
And
But yeah, no, it did a lot for the world, so you gotta respect. Voltorb, which is a ball.
It's just a Pokeball with angry eyes.
Do we want to talk about how Electro could totally learn Surf?
It can't.
It's in world physics, like the size and the mass of Electrode should mean that it can float on water. So it should mean that it can learn Surf.
No way of propelling itself.
It goes.
No, it doesn't.
It just goes.
No!
It moves.
It has no way of propelling itself.
Okay, how does it propel itself on land?
On land, there's friction that it can roll with.
Exactly, and see, it just goes.
It would just roll in place.
No, it would go.
If anything, it might start going backwards.
Should still be able to learn it.
There's no reason that it should learn it.
Just strap a fucking fire extinguisher to it, and then it will go.
Not to mention the type, just no reason for it.
It would be funny.
It'd be stupid. It wouldn't work.
Give Pikachu a surfboard. Oh, it makes sense. Oh, but this, like, ball that would float in the water. Can't learn it. Oh.
But the difference is, putting Pikachu on a surfboard is just putting Pikachu on a surfboard. It's not actually swimming through the ocean.
How can it get momentum? It's a fucking rat. It just sits on the board. It's too small.
That's what surfing is.
No, you fucking propel your arms and feet and make the board go, and then you stand up. How can Pikachu do that? He's just a fucking little shitty little rat mouse.
At least it could, like, wag its tail in the water like a fucking, like, basic-ass propeller. Electro's just a ball!
It can float.
Okay, it could float, but it can't swim.
I think it could.
Based on
I believe
what?
in it. Based on my beliefs, I think he's a good boy.
There's no reason it would be able to swim.
I don't care. I want it to happen.
It won't.
Fuck you.
So I got 2 games left on my 3x3, and they're both very different from each other.
Red Dead or Sheep Raider?
So Sheep Raider, okay, I'll talk about that one. It's probably the most obscure game on my 3x3. Me and you have talked about it a little bit before, but for anyone who's never heard of this game, which might be a high percentage of you, it is a Looney Tunes game where you play as Ralph Wolf, and you have to, one sheep at a time, steal the entire flock away from Sam the sheepdog. And you are guided by your little Navi-esque coach, Daffy Duck, who supplies you with new items and gives you tips, and each level there's a different layout, and you have to use goofy Looney Tunes physics and logic and items to steal sheep away from the dog without getting noticed. And sometimes Porky Pig will be there, and he has a lettuce farm, and you can leave a trail of lettuce for the sheep to follow. Sometimes there's giant rubber bands that you can strap to trees so you can get over a big cliff. Sometimes there's rockets that you can fly with. Sometimes there's TNT. A whole bunch of
fucking
shit.
Looney Tunes, Acme shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a fun 3D, I guess, puzzle game. And I never beat it because there was a difficulty curve for 8-year-old me. But
is that really the last time you played it?
I don't think I touched it any more recently than that. Yeah.
Maybe you should.
I would love to. I would actually like to do maybe even a series.
I mean, what? It's a PS1 game. You can easily emulate that now.
Yeah. But you could tell that whatever studio made that game, it was made with like fandom of Looney Tunes, like everything from the sound design to just the way it all moves, the animation, like everything about it was just like, this is playing a Looney Tunes cartoon. It was really, really fun. There are levels where you race the Roadrunner, and yes, you will run into fucking walls that are painted to look like the rest of the road. It's really, really fun, and I actually would like to play it again because I want to see how it holds up. Because I know graphics-wise, it definitely doesn't hold up super good, but...
Well, I mean, it's a product of the time. Like, the year it was released was, 2001? Yeah, it's gonna look like a PS1 game released in 2001.
Yeah, but given that, it doesn't move like a PS1 game. Like the models definitely look like that era, but they move like cartoons. Like, it was actually kind of impressive.
I mean, the reviews are, like, in the, again, like the 75, 7.25 out of 10 scores, so it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It was released under a different title elsewhere.
Yeah, I think you guys had it under the name just
Sheepdog and Wolf.
Sheepdog and Wolf, yeah.
North America had it as Looney Tunes Sheep Raider.
I don't know why we got it different like that.
Has it ever been addressed why fucking Ralph looks exactly like Wile E. Coyote?
Not to my knowledge.
That's just weird to me that there's two characters that look exactly the same except for fucking the nose color.
Yeah, and that's been like just Looney Tunes forever. Like, it's not just a game thing. Like, there's just two characters that look exactly the same. But yeah, I think the plot is that like Daffy Duck hosts like a game show, and you just
Who Wants to Be a Sheep Herder or something like that.
Something like that, and then you just end up like in it.
Who Wants to Be a Sheep Stealer? That's what it says on the wiki.
There you go. And then you just like end up in his sights, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, let's fucking steal some sheep." And it's like, okay, I can't do a Daffy Duck impression.
Is that a Daffy Duck impression?
I can't do it.
Hey, hey, no,
don't laugh
I
at
can't.
me.
I'm laughing at myself.
But yeah,
buddy.
Does he always laugh like that?
No, it's me being a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. No, who was that? That was a voice that did that.
Oh, I don't know.
It was a voice.
Someone did
You're
that
a voice.
sometime.
He's a voice. You're a voice. We're all a voice. Talk about Red Dead.
So, Red Dead Redemption. I knew I wanted to put a Rockstar game on here, and I just couldn't think of which one I wanted to do, because there's, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, there's Grand Theft Auto 5, I put a lot of time into.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is really fun.
It's fantastic.
I hate to say it again, but with Red Dead Redemption, I tried it, played it for like 20 minutes, couldn't get into it. I think it's just a function like that I lack or something. Like, I must have some kind of mental disorder.
I don't think it's that.
A lot of the games on your list, I'm just like, meh. Tried it, didn't like it, never did it again. And I don't know why.
I don't know.
At least on my list, you've never fucking played, like, a majority of those games. So you have no excuse. But with me, it's like, I've played these, I didn't like them, and I don't know why.
Fair enough.
Not just me being contrarian for the sake of it, it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't
You
get
like
it.
Pokemon? Fuck Pokemon. Anyway, I like Crystal.
Is the worst one, don't you know?
I hate you, and I hate the games you like.
Hey, you like, Yeah. Yeah, I do.
But yeah, I was like,
Well, good for you.
I know I want to put a Rockstar game on here. I just couldn't think of what, because there's Grand Theft Auto 4, LA Noire, like, I love all these games. And then I
You
was
ever
like,
played Bully?
I have not played Bully.
I hear it's good.
I also hear it's good. I would like to check it out sometime. But then I thought about the fact that I'm pretty sure I never beat San Andreas, so that would mean Red Dead Redemption's the only Rockstar game I ever beat the story of.
I mean, I've heard a lot of good things about the story of Red Dead and Red Dead 2. Like, it's very emotional and it hits in places.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just very cool and everything. I've seen, like, footage of it and it seems like a cool game, but I don't know. It's just I tried it this one time and then I didn't enjoy it, and I don't know why I didn't enjoy it. It was just, I was on a horse. Just on a horse and I was going. I mean, I wasn't going.
Well, the same could be said about Grand Theft Auto. I was just in a car.
But cars, like, yeah.
I think I also
I have
really
no
like.
think.
I think I also really like I like the Western aesthetic. So like being on horseback.
Isn't this
having
like
the
a
revolver.
sequel in itself, like Red Dead Redemption?
Huh? What?
Red Dead Redemption itself is a sequel?
Yes, there's a game called Red Dead Revolver, which I found out like a year after I played it was the first.
I love the fucking box art because the guy is like,
Oh, for Revolver? Yeah, it's super goofy.
prepare to die.
I don't know how like closely related the plots are. I don't know anything about Revolver, but
It's just cowboy shit in it. Like, it's just fucking
I think it's like
bang
closer
bang
to
shoot shoot.
I think it's like closer to like a spiritual successor than an actual sequel, but yeah, Red Dead Redemption, I remember like going through that story and like actually getting invested because I played Grand Theft Auto 4 and I never like I it took me until like a year ago to even figure out what the story was to Grand Theft Auto 4 when I watched like a cutscene movie of it. Because I never...
Belli conto go bowling.
Yeah, I never paid attention to the story, because who the fuck paid attention to the story of Grand Theft Auto 4? You played that game because you put in the cheat codes and you went around killing people and flying helicopters. Like, you did that with San Andreas too, but San Andreas had a story that I feel like more people got invested in.
CJ, we're on the train.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Press X to bike. Fucking bell, all that shit.
Fuck Big Smoke.
CJ, the train.
Let me get a number 9 large, 2 number 7s, a number 4 with cheese.
The train.
You have one reference point for San Andreas.
I know nothing about San Andreas other than that there is a train.
I didn't notice that you were going to the same reference point over and over. I was just like listing off different shit, and you're like, but the trains.
The train. CJ, we missed the train.
We gotta get on a bike so we can go get the train. That's what happens, right?
That's what happens. That's the entirety of San Andreas. It's just you chasing a fucking train.
It's not even close, but yeah, sure.
CJ, we're in a game of tag, and you're it.
But I think having the open world Western aesthetic, which I already liked, the Rockstar gameplay style, which I already liked, the story that I got invested in, and then it also had a fun multiplayer, which I feel like Grand Theft Auto 4, there was a multiplayer component, but it was just like so barren. Like nobody played it because they were all busy in the single player killing fucking hookers. So in Red Dead, people actually played the multiplayer. There was like game modes and you had fun. Then Grand Theft Auto 5.
And then you go to the saloon and you kill the whore.
Yes. And yeah, just fun different weapons. Like you had sticks of dynamite, you had machetes you could fucking throw. It was fun. You didn't have rocket launchers, but you had other cool shit.
You had horses.
You did have horses.
Horse launches.
Have you ever heard of the unicorn in Red Dead Redemption?
Please, for the love of God, tell me that there's like a rare instance of a unicorn just showing up in the game.
No, it's darker than that. So...
Oh God, what is it?
There was...
Is it like an urban legend type of thing? Because I love shit like that in like open world games.
No, you do it yourself. For anyone who knows what this is already, they're probably laughing hysterically.
I don't like the tone of your voice.
So what this is there was an update that introduced the machete. Or not the machete. Sorry, a tomahawk. And of course that is a small axe with a long handle. And
yes.
it was a throwing weapon. So the Achievement Hunter boys discovered, I don't know how they discovered this, that if you line up your shot and you throw a tomahawk at a horse, it will stick into the horse's head, but the axe blade will be buried in the model of the horse, and all that'll stick out every time is the handle out of the horse's forehead. And yeah, the horse will die, but it ends up making a unicorn. And it's dark and stupid, but I still laugh at it for some reason. And, yeah. Now you know this.
Why do we make these things and then use this power to do the worst possible things?
There was an achievement in that game to tie up a woman and tie her to the train tracks and watch the train run over her. That was an achievement.
People at Rockstar have issues, dude.
They make Grand Theft Auto. Of course they have issues.
I think this reminds me of like a TikTok I saw. I don't know if it was Red Dead or Red Dead 2, but basically there's this house that you can go in that's like a sort of like off the beaten path, and it's like kind of creepy and weird because there's like a shrine inside it to somebody, and then there's like a full-length mirror in the house, and then if you look in it you'll see someone's reflection, but then if you like look at it in real life they're not there. Can't remember what that is. Someone who's listening will know this. Anyone who's played that game will know. But yeah, I saw that and I thought that was cool.
There's a
I
lot
like
of cool
open
shit.
world
Like,
shit because it gives
there's
you a lot of like opportunities to have that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like I'm pointing out the darkest shit in the game, but there was a lot of like just cool shit that you could do, and the ending of that story is still one of my favorite like video game endings ever. It's so good. But yeah, I have a soft spot for Red Dead. I remember when it came out, it was like the first time I had like got a Rockstar game at release when everybody else was getting it, and we were all just talking about it at school. It was super cool. I have a lot of fun with it, and I actually there's the backwards compatibility for certain games on Xbox, and that's one of the 360 games that you can download. So I absolutely re-downloaded it, and I'm like partially back into it. So definitely fun.
Nice. I wish I had a better experience with it, honestly.
So at this point, I guess we can. We put up a question on Instagram. So if you want to go follow our Instagram, that is @BitterChatPod. And on our story, Brooks put up a question, and it was shit.
It was not. It was actually very well thought out.
Cut that out. So on our Instagram, Brooks put up a question saying, "Shut up."
What?
You're fucking mocking me.
I'm not mocking you. I'm mocking the situation.
You're breaking the continuity.
There's no continuity. What's the answers?
So on our Instagram, Brooks put up a question on our story. And it says, Q&A for our video game episode. Send us your video game related thoughts. And we got some responses to that, which we're going to go through now. So what's one you want to do first here?
Egg slad. I hate you, and I hate everything that you do. Nothing you ever do is good, and I wish we weren't friends.
The truth comes out, folks.
Uh-huh.
This is how he really feels.
Spite is a great motivator, isn't it?
It sure is.
I'm gonna start posting fucking pictures of Mars bars and see how you like it.
I don't care. Go ahead.
Mars bars.
So here's one from Tibble's Art that says, "What game has influenced you the most?" Which we probably kind of covered.
Oh, yeah. I mean, creatively, it's probably Final Fantasy X. Honestly, like
that one, really.
A lot of the fantasy stuff that I enjoy comes from that. Dark Cloud as well played a part in that. Part of the reason why I love The Simpsons so much is probably because I played a lot of Simpsons Hit and Run.
That's
Kingdom
something.
Hearts as well, like, for sure. Like, I went through a whole phase of that shit. I suppose fantasy would be the sort of genre that influences me the most. It's my favorite one to play as well, I'd say.
Yeah, fair enough. Something in the Pokemon franchise is probably my answer. Like,
But inspired you.
no, it's influenced you.
Influenced you.
To
catch bugs.
Yeah, you got it. You nailed it. I meant that in
Well, that's
the
what the original thing
sense.
was, wasn't it? Is that, like, the creator of Pokemon was really into bug catching, and he wanted to do that for kids, but he thought, make it not bugs. But some of them are bugs.
Some of them are bugs, some of them are rocks, some of them are dragons, some of them are grass.
Some of them's just a ball with gas on it.
Some of them are magnets.
Some of them are ghosts. One of them's Urigella.
But yeah, the Pokemon franchise has been like such a big part of my life, even when I wasn't playing it. Like, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, the culture around it sort of speaks for itself, really.
And then there's the not even the mainline games like Pokemon Colosseum, which I know you didn't play that because it was a GameCube game, but like this more like 3D world, open world, sort of a very far off precursor to what Sword and Shield eventually ended up being in a sense, but it had a different kind of plot. Like, it wasn't about getting the badges and fighting the Elite Four. It was about a totally different thing happening within the Pokemon universe, which I thought was super cool.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought that was neat, but again, I just didn't have a console for it and it kind of sucks. I really want to get like a 3DS or games that will at least, or a console that will at least play 3DS games, because X and Y seem like fun. And Sun and Moon also seem like fun. But yeah, it's just the unfortunate side effect of having sort of games that are on specific consoles is that if you don't have a console, you're shit out of luck.
Yeah, there was two games that were like the same thing, but they were like the same game mechanics, but a different plot. So there was Pokemon Colosseum, and then there was Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness.
Oh, I remember that. Fucking Dark Lugia. Fucking coolest shit ever. But I've only ever seen it, never played it, because again, didn't have a GameCube.
So I'm not looking at the wiki, so I'm probably going to get some details wrong here, but the Colosseum plot was essentially you stole this piece of tech from some gang organization. As far as I remember, it was not Team Rocket. And it basically allows you to capture other trainers' Pokemon. Like, you can steal it from them. And so the main character's a good guy, so you're not just stealing random ass people's Pokemon, but you can take Pokemon from bad guys. And so that's how you would catch new Pokemon. And then in Gale of Darkness, the plot is that something has infected a bunch of Pokemon with just the darkness, and there's this different piece of tech that you can use to capture those Pokemon and use that as a way to purify them. So that was the plot of that game. But they operated the same way. Like, the gameplay was identical for both games. So those were always big in my, like, GameCube days. I was playing those a lot. So yeah, just the Pokemon franchise in general, I guess.
It's pretty influential, and it made that money. Yeah. money. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really hoping you'd join in with that, so thanks.
No, because with Discord there's the delay and it would just sound like shit.
Just money, yeah, money, yeah.
So yeah, any of these you want to tackle next?
The game's story has influenced you the most.
Oh man, I mean, maybe the Teen Titans game.
Final Fantasy X.
Ask us a question. The answer is Final Fantasy X.
No, not necessarily. It's just a lot of these questions can be answered by that game because it was highly influential, and yeah, I don't know. Like, it hits all the right buttons for me mentally. So yeah, it just worked out for me that way.
No, you know what, man? I don't know the answer to this one. Maybe even Dark Souls, because
I've heard that game has like no story though.
That's not true. It actually has an enormous...
Or like there is a story, but it's like barely explained in the game.
Well, you can piece it together just from playing the game if you pay attention to it. Otherwise, it just seems like you're just going from place to place killing things.
There's a flame, and they put out the flame, and the flame a bed of chaos.
But the more you read into it, there is like a real rich lore and plot going on in all those games. Because for the Dark Souls games, they're all connected. Demon Souls is like a little different. I don't know if it's connected. And then Bloodborne's a different thing. And then there's like, oh, maybe there's implications that they're connected. It's probably not. But the Dark Souls, just those 3 games, oh man, the story of those is so like interesting if you like really want to get into it. And then if you don't want to get into it, you don't have to. You can just fucking play it and fight the fucking cool bosses.
That's cool. Optional story is good.
Yeah. So, I really like the Dark Souls story a lot. I think that would be my answer.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Anything else?
How about, favorite game in terms of graphics or visual style?
Ooh!
I have one.
What's yours?
Honey Pop.
Really? Care to elaborate? For anyone who doesn't know what Honey Pop is... It is, I guess you could call it a dating sim puzzle game. And there's like 9 girls initially, and you can date them.
Fuck.
And each date is a puzzle game level, and it's like a match 3 puzzle game. And if you do the puzzle game good, you win the date. And if you win 4 dates,
You get to fuck them.
you fuck them.
And there's boobies. There's cum all over the boobies and the vagina and butthole.
Not all of that is true, but you do fuck them.
It's all true, 100% across the pictures.
And there's
It's
definitely
fucking great.
pornographic photos of these characters that come at the end of the fuck date.
I love it. It's my favorite art style of anything. Any game ever. Beautiful game. Fucking nah. Not fussed, mate. Just have titties. Give it to me. I want it. All about them. I can't take it seriously anymore. Alright, I play Honey Pop for the goofs and gaffs. Like, genuinely, the puzzle solving is fun for me, and like the dialogue is fun. I'm not a depraved, perverted fucking Minetta character, alright? Well, it's only half true, I suppose, but... Can you blame me?
Yeah. There's
You
like an
played it?
alien character, and there's like a goddess character,
The goddess is hot.
and then the worst one's the cat.
I mean, you're not even touching on the sequel, Honey Pop 2 Double Date.
I have not played the sequel.
Oh, you should, it's really fun.
It's all about threesomes, right?
Yeah.
You fuck 2 of them.
Uh-huh. And for every threesome, a love fairy gets their wings, and you have to get 24 wings in order to fight the Nymphojin, which are giant cosmic entities that are about to have PMS episodes.
Is that actually for real, the plot?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I've got to buy this game immediately.
Look at the trailer, if you think I'm fucking with you, because I'm not. It's great.
That's...
It's also problematic, yes, social issues and everything, but...
Well, Honey Cam...
Titties.
Honey Cam was the one that people had more of a problem with, right?
Well, that was a different genre entirely. That was like a sim game, like...
But it was, for all intents and purposes, part of the franchise.
It introduced characters, but it's not like a plot thing. It's just a different type of game. It's a click-to-win games. You know those games?
Yeah, it's like an idle,
Yeah.
fuck do you call it?
Not into that. I'm into, titties. Alright, we have to get off this.
Give me the boobs and butts.
What is your favorite game in terms of dumb fun? Honey Pop. That's the answer to that. But in terms of graphics or visual style, Binding of Isaac.
I had a friend that was extremely into Binding of Isaac, and the more
It's really fun.
the more she explained it to me, the less I wanted to play it.
It's really fucked up and gross, but it's really fun and really cool.
I don't like the fact that it's all fucked up and gross. But I also...
Oh, so that fucking gives you the creeps, but Evangelion did nothing? Okay,
Well, no,
alright,
it's not
your
like it's
threshold's
scaring me. I just don't like it.
I just don't want to experience
I
it.
don't like it. It's...
don't like it.
But the the gameplay also is just like, I'm not, I don't
It's
know.
fun. Just go into different rooms, different dungeons, you cry at things, they blow up, you die, there's slot machines. Fucking great.
Yeah, sure, I guess.
Poured countless hours into that game on Steam. It's fucking good. Yeah, that's probably a really unique art style. I've not played it, but Untitled Goose Game has a really cool art style.
Oh, you know what? Untitled Goose Game might be my favorite art style, just like, because it's just...
Like, just the minimalism and, like, the, I don't know what you'd call it, like, the IKEA kind of style. I like it.
Yeah, it's also real good for that relaxing vibe that I want from a video game.
Yeah, legit, yeah. Super cool, super good. I should probably, like, get that game and play it.
Probably. That'd be fun. You can honk at things. You can annoy people. I spent like 10 minutes on the first level, just like, there's this guy that has like his little garden, and you can just like grab like a fucking rake out of his lawn and drag it out of his lawn, and he's like, what the fuck happened to my rake? And he'll come chase after you, and then you drop it and honk at him and run away. Like, I just fucked with this guy for like 10 minutes.
It sounds like fun. It sounds like a game I would enjoy, because I do enjoy fucking with people.
It's super great. It's a great, like, just chillax game. Dumb fun, though?
Honey Pop, 100%. Left 4 Dead is also, like, dumb, mindless fun when you play it with friends.
Ooh, we didn't even touch the fucking Valve games. Portal's fantastic.
Oh yeah, Portal 2 is fucking great. Portal co-op, fucking fun. Left 4 Dead, fun to play.
Yeah.
I played the second one, first and foremost. But, yeah.
Oh,
good
man.
shit.
Portal, oh, you know what? Dumb fun, and you know what? Maybe even, like, aesthetic. Portal is...
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, I love Portal. The first one.
Life gives you lemons, get mad.
I don't want your stupid fucking bullshit lemons.
Think, GLaDOS, think.
Oh, yeah, that is him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Give me more pictures of a potato, GLaDOS.
And then Stephen Merchant as Wheatley. Great.
Mm-hmm. I love the edit that someone made of, like, Carl Pilkington as a core sphere next to Wheatley, just pissing off Wheatley. It's fun.
I mean, that's essentially what the Space Core is.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a super fun one.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So yeah, anything else in here we wanted to go over?
Apparently we got one from fuck, what's the name? Oh, there we go. Glopio fan account.
Okay.
They say Thunder Lotus games are criminally underrated.
What have they made?
I googled it. Thunder Lotus is a game studio. They've made games Spiritfarer, Jotun, and Sundered.
I've not even heard of any of those.
Neither have I, but looking at the images, they seem to be pretty fucking, like, really aesthetically cool. Like, they look a bit like Hollow Knight and Limbo and Journey, kind of, you know?
Oh,
Like those kinds of games.
well, that's neat.
They seem like fun.
All right, might look
I'll
into
have
those.
to give those a go if they look like they're on Steam, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll have to have a look at those. That is a good recommendation.
I'll check those out.
I guess we can just cap it off with favorite developers, like favorite video game studios.
I mean, I'm a sucker for FromSoft and Rockstar.
You're gonna have to say what games they make because
FromSoft is the Dark Souls people.
Okay.
Rockstar is the GTA and Red Dead people. Bungie, who I went over, they made the original Halo games.
Bungie. I don't actually have an answer to this question. I just like individual games.
Well, I mean, you're definitely into... Well, no, I guess it's just Final Fantasy X, because I was going to say Square, but they also did...
Well, Kingdom Hearts as well.
Yeah.
So.
And
they've also done, like, other games as well, which I think look pretty cool. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Kojima.
Yeah.
I like Metal Gear.
Very hit or miss Kojima for me.
It depends how you feel about Death Stranding.
The movie?
No, the game.
Oh, I thought it was a movie.
Where you walk.
Oh yeah, the Amazon delivery game.
Yeah. It's sort of like
Where it's also
it gives
a
me
movie.
Death Stranding vibes in that it's really fucking boring, but I think that's the point.
Sure. I always think about what Silent Hills could have been, and I get upset.
Yeah, but that's not his fault.
And that's not his fault. It's Konami's fault. Fuck Konami.
Fuck Konami. Yeah, that sucks.
Oh, we have to save we're running a bit long here. We'll have to save the video game things we hate for next episode. Maybe we can do a second part to this, actually, because there's a lot of video game stuff we haven't even touched on yet.
Oh, true. Yeah, I guess. So, with that being said, if you want to email us and talk to us about your favorite video games or whatever it is you want to talk to us about, you can send an email to bitterchatterpodcast@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Twitter and or Instagram, where we got these replies. The handle for both of those is exactly the same. It's @bitterchatpod, and you would then be following us on Twitter or Instagram. And then, Brooks, what are your socials?
My Twitter and TikTok is Strayborn. You will get updates on my life that you may or may not want to see. That's the gamble you take. If you follow me there, unfollow me and follow me again. Get them numbers up.
There you
go. And then down and then up again.
Just constantly fluctuating.
Up and down and all around.
My socials are all exactly the same. _Carmine. On Twitter, I have started tweeting a little bit. I just tweeted today a picture of a fucking janitor's setup that has a Burger King logo on it that says Greasy Gang. And I'm like, I don't think this is the great marketing you thought it was, Burger King. And then on Instagram, I'm posting many daily pictures of egg salad just to bother Brooks. And it's...
You want to keep it going for another week, you coward?
Yes. I've already got pictures set up and ready to go.
Good for you. I've tricked you into doing this.
Yeah, that's what he's going to try and pull. And then on TikTok, I post my usual JoJo's and anime bullshit. So go follow me there. You would now be one of, let's see, 82,000.
82,000 people.
How the fuck?
Can all of you start listening?
Yeah, for real. I post the fucking previews on Bitter Chatter on there, and they get like 1,000 views and like 100 likes, and I'm like, but there's so many more of you.
2 comments. We'll figure it all out. We'll get famous one day, even though that's not the goal of this at any point in time.
Nah, it's really just an excuse for us to hang out. But it's cool that you guys like it. Those of you that listen.
If you like it, you should let your voices be known and let us know. Do you know? What do you know? What do you know about it?
That's exactly it. So go ahead and tell your friends for more great jokes like that.
Oh, fuck off. I'm running on empty. We just did 3 hours. We never said we'd get this long.
We haven't done 3 hours since the fucking TV tournament.
And we're done with it.
There you go. Goodbye.
Go away.
I'm fading away now. This is the music. We're going now. Goodbye.
Oh my god, a bear.
God!
It sound right, boy.